Chapter 679, 332. The powerful, astonishing cloud chaser, the next target. Recalling the perilous evolution just now, Xian's heart was still in turmoil. Chiatilda, I want to endure such hardships too. Can, back to its pocket-sized body type, couldn't help but mutter softly. After Xian had completed its evolution, it had looked at Xian several times. As Xian's strength had greatly increased following the breakthrough, its brief reign as the strongest in the team had to be relinquished. Damn it! Star and the 12, though they didn't speak, also looked at Xian with eyes full of envy. As for Firefly, who hadn't come to Fallen Thunder Valley but had remotely watched the entire process, was so envious that it was rolling around on the bed. Emperor species. From Xian, they could clearly feel that overwhelming strength which utterly surpassed their own, a complete crushing of life levels. This was the allure of evolution. In an instant, those who had already acquired the evolution path of the Emperor species rubbed their hands together in eager anticipation, their will to evolve stronger than ever before. Those who had not obtained the evolution path of the Emperor species were even more looking forward to the next resource allocation, hoping for a new evolution path. They too wanted to become stronger. With Xian's evolution coming to an end, it's also a conclusion to this chapter. Sensing the mood of the other four, Su Ran smiled and looked around. The once fallen Thunder Valley after this battle had many of its surrounding peaks leveled, the terrain had greatly changed, and with the extinct thunder attraction absorbed by Xian, the endless thunderclouds dissipated. In a sense, the world no longer had a fallen Thunder Valley. Let's go back, Su Ran said softly, then turned to Xian. You must also take the divine punishment and rebound as soon as possible. No sooner had he spoken than Xian, originally in a great mood from evolving into an emperor species, suddenly looked crestfallen. Divine punishment and rebound. It had almost forgotten about that. Thinking of the past pain it had experienced, Xian's expression was filled with conflicted emotions and helplessness. It wanted to escape, but there was no escape. Unless it never used divine punishment again, it had to face the rebound sooner or later. But divine punishment was really useful. So far, Xian had not seen any ability more powerful than it. With one explosion of power, it could easily defeat stronger enemies. Meow tilde, let's go back tilde. Xian let out a long sigh, showing an expression of resigned determination. Half an hour later, within the Starfare foster care shop in Bright Radiant City, Xian's scream, full of sheer agony, could be heard. All right, let's pack our bags. Touching Xian in his arms, who was looking desolate from enduring the divine punishment and rebound, Su Ran spoke with a smile. It's time to leave Bright Radiant City. Choosing to open a branch in Bright Radiant City was because it was close to the extinct thunder attraction, making it easy to monitor the situation. Now that the extinct thunder attraction has been secured, and the branch's fame requirement has been met, staying here no longer had any purpose. It was time to head to a new city, to open the 4th branch store in a second-level town. Xilu tilde, where will we go next? Star neighed inquisitively, curious about their next destination. The next city we're going to has some connection to you, Su Ran smiled and looked at Star. Xilu, me. Surprise flashed in Star's eyes, clearly unexpected that the next destination would be related to itself. That's right, Su Ran nodded. With Xian having successfully completed its evolution, according to the sequence of obtaining the Emperor species evolution path and the fulfillment of evolution conditions, you are next in line to evolve. You haven't forgotten your evolution ritual, have you? Xilu tilde, of course not. Without hesitation, Star shook its head. Concerning its own evolution, it memorized every word about the evolution conditions, evolution materials, and evolution ritual. It couldn't possibly forget. To evolve into Star Cloud Guardian, the evolution ritual consisted of 2 steps. First, assist a transcendent being below the monarch stage in defeating a Dark King-level transcendent being, obtaining its core resources as auxiliary materials for the evolution. Second, complete the evolution during Star Cloud Night when the stars are shining. According to the initial plan, the first step was for it to assist Xian in defeating a Dark King-level opponent. But life is full of unexpected events, and they had not encountered a suitable Dark King-level opponent during this time, and among the combatants for extinct thunder attraction, none were of the dark attribute. Now that Xian and Can had both reached the monarch stage, Star would have to switch the subject of its assistance to either 12 or Firefly. But Star was not worried. It believed in the rapid improvement of its companion's strength. And this step of the evolution ritual didn't pick a place. So Sue ran, mentioning the next destination being related to itself could only be connected to the other part of the evolution ritual. During Star Cloud Night, amidst the reflections of the stars, complete the evolution. Xilu, are we going to city with stars? Exactly, Sue Ran nodded slightly. I happen to know of such a city that can satisfy the requirement of stars shining together. There should be very suitable for you to complete your evolution. Severe writer's block. This chapter is missing 4,000 words, desperately trying to write more. Contract pet beast, Xian. Race name, astonishing cloud chaser. Attribute, fighting attribute, thunder attribute. Growth stage, monarch stage, 923.6 W 1000 W. Race stage, emperor species. Skills, thunder shocker, violent sun level. Path of destruction, violent sun level. Chapter 680, 332. The powerful astonishing cloud chaser, the next target. Thunder punishment, violent sun level. Immortal body, violent sun level. Heavenly punishment, violent sun level. Divine punishment, violent sun level. Astonishing thunder fury, violent sun level. Cloud break sky, stardust level plus. Imperial crown, stardust level plus. Looking at the lines of text before him, Sue Ran couldn't help but show a look of amazement on his face. Before today, he knew that the gap between king species and emperor species was large, but seeing the specific data, he realized just how huge it really was. Kankan, also at the king stage, had a power progression limit of only 600 W, while Xian had a full 10 million. This nearly double power gap meant that Xian could effortlessly trounce several Kankans. That was only the gap in pure strength. Considering the formidable oppressive power of the imperial crown and exclusive skill of the emperor species, Xian's strength was even more formidable. Having concept of Xian's current strength, Sue Ran then looked toward Xian's skill list. Beyond the original 7 skills, there were 2 completely new skills added. Apart from the imperial crown, there was another called Cloud Break Sky. Xian, what is the effect of Cloud Break Sky? Sue Ran asked curiously. Meow, watch closely. Xian, with a smug expression, immediately began to demonstrate. It slightly raised its head to look at the sky, then lifted a claw and pressed it against the air in front of it. Zyla. Along with the sound of air being pierced by thunderbolt, a tangible thunder light converged instantly under its feet. With another step, more thunder light was fixed into the void. 1 step, 2 steps. As Xian's steps moved forward, a path quickly formed in the void, gathering from the thunder. Thus, it walked on the thunder light as if treading on flat ground, moving through the void. Is this flying? Sue Ran's face revealed a trace of astonishment. Before, although Xian had the path of destruction skill, that skill could only help it move faster and didn't grant it the ability to fly. But now, Xian's slow movement was still sufficient for it to stay in the air, which undoubtedly meant that it truly had acquired the ability to fly. For a moment, Sue Ran's expression became somewhat peculiar. He still remembered that he had once wanted a pet beast capable of flying, to carry him and let him experience the joy of flying through the air. After the 12 evolution, it became capable of flight, but it was still a long way from carrying him to fly. Unexpectedly, Xian had fulfilled his little dream first. Meow tilde, that's not all. A hint of a smile played on Xian's face. A 4-star skill, if it had only as simple an ability as flight, would be somewhat unworthy of its name. Its speed suddenly accelerated, transforming into a light purple blur, and in a blink, it was already hundreds of meters in the sky. Incredible airwaves carrying vast energy spun rapidly beside it, accumulating. As Xian's speed increased, the accumulated power became more and more terrifying, eventually reaching a level that left Sue Ran and the other 3 little ones dumbfounded. The next moment, Xian, while on the run, suddenly swung a claw at the thunder cloud in the sky that hadn't completely dispersed. The gathered power seemed to find a vent, like a terrifying cannon, enveloping a force that seemed capable of destroying everything, hitting heavily into the midst of the thunder cloud. The thunder cloud in the void was completely washed away, and the dreadful residual energy continued unabated, shooting into the unknown depths of the void. After fully displaying Cloud Break Sky, Xian then casually returned to Su Ran's side, with a proud expression on its face. Meow, impressive skill, isn't it? Impressive. I feel that after its upgrade to Violent Sun level, it's not any less powerful than your other output skills. Su Ran nodded earnestly. So what exactly is the effect of this skill? Meow tilde, this skill. Xian explained with a smile. Flying was just a minor ability attached to Cloud Break Sky. The true effect of Cloud Break Sky was to accumulate power and then release it all at once, and the way it accumulated power was somewhat unique. Speed. The faster Xian moved, the quicker it could accumulate power, and the resultant impact would be all the more astonishing. So, you didn't fully deploy this skill just now. After hearing about the skill's effects from Xian, Su Ran's eyebrows subtly rose. Your fastest speed is under Path of Destruction if you use Cloud Break Sky while under Path of Destruction. Meow tilde, exactly. Xian nodded with a smile. By itself, this skill wasn't much different from its other output skills, but paired with the acceleration from Path of Destruction, the damage from this skill could multiply. Consequently, it would become the strongest output skill after Divine Punishment for Xian. But Divine Punishment had side effects, while Cloud Break Sky did not. That's just wonderful, Su Ran said, a relieved smile on his face. Just for this skill alone, the evolution was worth it. Meow tilde, it wasn't easy for me to get this. Xian recollected the perilous evolution it had just undergone. Cha tilde, I want to experience that kind of hardship too tilde. Can back to its miniature body type, couldn't help muttering softly. After Xian completed its evolution, it had been looking at Xian several times. Chapter 681-332, The Powerful Astonishing Cloud Chaser, the Next Target. Following Xian's breakthrough, which greatly enhanced its power, it had to cede its position as the temporary strongest in the team once again. Damn it! Star and 12, who were nearby, although silent, looked at Xian with equally envious eyes. As for Firefly, who hadn't come to Fallen Thunder Valley and was remotely watching the whole process, it was so envious that it was rolling on the bed. Emperor species. From Xian, they could clearly feel that overpoweringly strong aura that completely dominated over them, an absolute crushing force of a higher life level. This is the charm of evolution. For a moment, those who had already obtained the evolution paths of the Emperor species rubbed their hands in anticipation, their will to evolve stronger than ever. Those who hadn't obtained the Emperor species evolution path were looking forward even more to the next resource allocation, hoping for new evolution paths. They too wanted to grow stronger. Xian's evolution has ended, and with that, a chapter closes, Su Ran said with a smile, surveying the surroundings, feeling the emotions of the other four companions. Once Fallen Thunder Valley, now after this battle, the surrounding mountaintops were significantly flattened, and the landscape had drastically changed. Furthermore, with the extinct thunder attraction absorbed by Xian, the constant shroud of thunder was no more. In a sense, Fallen Thunder Valley no longer existed in this world. Let's go back, Su Ran spoke softly and then turned to Xian. The rebound of divine punishment also needs to be quickly endured. Upon these words, Xian, who was initially in high spirits from evolving into the Emperor species, had its expression collapse in an instant. Divine punishment and rebound. It had almost forgotten about this. Thinking about the pain it had experienced in the past, Xian's face was filled with conflict and helplessness. It really wanted to run away, but there was no escape. Unless it never used divine punishment again, it had to face the rebound sooner or later. But divine punishment was so useful. Up until now, Xian had not seen a more powerful ability than it. With one burst, divine punishment allowed Xian to easily overcome enemies above its level. Meow tilde, let's go back tilde. Xian heaved a deep sigh, showing a resigned expression as if ready to meet its fate. Half an hour later, the Starfair foster care shop in Bright Radiant City was filled with Xian's extremely pitiful screams of agony. All right, let's pack our bags. After caressing Xian in his arms, who looked utterly despondent after enduring the divine punishment and rebound, Su Ran smiled and spoke. It's time to leave Bright Radiant City. Choosing to open a branch in Bright Radiant City was primarily because it was closest to the extinct thunder attraction, making it easy to keep tabs on the situation. Now that the extinct thunder attraction had been acquired and the branch's fame requirements were met, There was no longer any reason to stay here. It's time to head to a new city and start the fourth branch in a second-level town. Xilu Tilda, where are we going next? Star let out a curious whinny. The next city we're heading to has some connection to you, responded Su Ran with a smile, looking at Star. Xilu, me. A look of surprise appeared in Star's eyes, not expecting the next destination to be related to itself. That's right, Su Ran nodded. Xian has successfully completed its evolution, and based on the order in which the Emperor species evolution path was obtained, and the conditions for evolution met, the next one prepared to evolve is you. You haven't forgotten your evolution ritual, have you? Xilu Tilda, of course not. Star shook its head without hesitation. Its own evolution was critical. It remembered every word regarding the evolution conditions, materials, and ritual firmly in its mind. How could it forget? To evolve into Star Cloud Guardian, the evolution ritual was twofold. First, it had to assist a transcendent being not yet at the king stage to defeat a Dark King-level transcendent being, obtaining its core resources as auxiliary materials for the evolution. Second, the evolution ritual should be completed on the night of Star Cloud when the stars shine upon us. Based on the previous plan, the first step should have been to assist Xian in killing a Dark King-level being. But unpredictable events like storms can arise. During this time, no suitable Dark King-level adversaries have been encountered, and none competing for the extinct Thunder attraction were of the Dark attribute. Now that both Xian and Kankan have reached the king stage, Starfire had to switch its assistant's target to either the 12 or the Fireflies. However, Starfire wasn't in a panic. It believed in the speed at which these two companions could increase their strength. And this phase of the evolution ritual wasn't picky about location. Thus, Su Ran's mention of the next destination being related to him could only relate to the other step of the evolution ritual. On the night of Star Cloud, complete the evolution when the stars cast their light. Xilu, are we going to city with stars? That's right, Su Ran nodded slightly. I happen to know of a city that can meet the requirement of stars shining upon us. There, you should find it very suitable for completing your evolution. All right, let's pack our luggage. Touching Xian in his arms, who looked despondent after enduring divine punishment and rebound, Su Ran spoke with a smile. It's time to leave Bright Radiant City. Choosing to open a branch in Bright Radiant City was because it was closest to the extinct Thunder attraction, making it easy to stay informed about it. Now that the extinct Thunder attraction has been obtained, and the branch's fame requirements have been met, lingering here has lost its purpose. It's time to head to a new city and set up the fourth branch in a second-level town. Xilu Tilda, where are we going next? Starfire neighed inquiringly, full of curiosity. The next city we're going to has something to do with you, Su Ran chuckled, looking at Starfire. Xilu, me. Starfire showed surprise in its eyes, clearly not expecting the next destination to be related to itself. Exactly, Su Ran nodded. Now that Xian has successfully evolved, according to the order of obtaining evolution paths for Emperor species and the fulfillment of evolution conditions, you're the next one to prepare for evolution. You haven't forgotten your own evolution ritual, have you? Xilu Tilda, of course not. Starfire shook its head without hesitation. Being concerned with its own evolution, it committed every word of the evolution conditions, evolution materials, and the evolution ritual to heart. How could it forget? To evolve into a Star Cloud Guardian, the evolution ritual is divided into two steps. First, to assist a transcendent being that hasn't reached the king stage in defeating a Dark King-level extraordinary being and obtaining its core resource as an evolution material. Second, to complete the evolution on the night of Star Cloud, when the stars shine upon us. According to the previous plan, the first step was to assist Xian in killing a Dark King-level being. But as fate would have it, like a sudden storm, suitable Dark King-level opponents haven't been encountered in this period, and none in the battle for the extinct Thunder attraction were of the Dark attribute. Now that both Xian and Kankan have reached the king stage, Starfire could only turn to either 12 or the Fireflies for assistance. Yet Starfire wasn't flustered. It trusted the pace at which these two companions were improving their strength. And this part of the evolution ritual didn't require a specific place. So, when Su Ran mentioned that the next destination had something to do with him, it could only concern the other part of the evolution ritual. On the night of Star Cloud, complete the evolution with the stars casting their light. Lu, do we need to go to a city with stars? Right, Su Ran nodded slightly. I just happen to know such a city that can fulfill the stars shining requirement. Over there, it should be quite suitable for you to complete your evolution. Chapter 682, 333, Strength Test and Acquaintances. Beast Master Association, this should be the place. Following the directions, a man with 5 pet beasts quickly arrived at the Chuangsing City Beast Master Association. The architecture was unfamiliar, but the grandeur was recognizable. After a few glances from outside, Su Ran quickly entered with his 5 small companions. The more he visited new cities, the more familiar Su Ran became with the procedures. He found the relevant service window, unfroze his account, and while receiving his Beast Master badge from the staff, he asked a question. Excuse me, where can I obtain the Starlight badge? With your strength, sir, you can directly obtain the Starlight badge by passing the power test, the staff member said, looking at Su Ran with courteous and respectful eyes. After all, a king-level beast master was already an essential pillar within a second-level town. The window is over there. Turn left when you go out and you'll see it. Thank you. Su Ran nodded slightly in gratitude and then turned to leave. After Su Ran had left, the employee still had a hint of amazement on his face. He's so young. This is the first time I've ever seen such a young king-level beast master. Did he start meditating in the womb or what? Maybe he just looks young, a colleague joked with a laugh. Some pet beasts have the ability to help beast masters maintain their appearances or to alter them. Is that so? The employee said, suddenly enlightened. That does seem possible. In any case, this is a senior king-level beast master. Let's not gossip behind his back. Another colleague chimed in with a slight frown, speaking more seriously. Li, according to regulations, when an out-of-town king-level beastmaster enters Chuangsing City, it needs to be reported. Thanks for the reminder, Liu. I'll report it now. The employee who had assisted Su Ran slapped his forehead and quickly stopped gossiping to begin the reporting process. Meanwhile, Su Ran, who was unaware that he had been mistaken for a disguised old monster, arrived at the window for the Starlight Badge application. He directly took out his Beast Master badge and stated his purpose. Hello, I'd like to take the power test to get the Starlight badge. A power test? The staff member glanced at the pet beasts behind Su Ran. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pet beasts king level. At that moment the employee swiftly stood up. Please, this way. He quickly led Su Ran to a sealed room and began to explain the rules of the test. This room can conduct an accurate power test. The staff member paused briefly. You can let all your pet beasts take action together or just one, and as long as the total strength meets the standard, you will get the Starlight badge. The standard is roughly equivalent to the full strength of an ordinary general-level beast master, which is also the minimum strength to ensure one doesn't easily face danger when leaving the city. Only with such strength can the association confidently award the badge. All right? Su Ran nodded to show he understood, and then with one hand on the long sword on his back, he walked step by step to the center of the room. The staff member, seeing the 5 pet beasts left to the side, he couldn't help but question himself. Was there something unclear in my explanation? But before the staff member could figure it out, the clear sound of a sword being drawn echoed in the room. By the time the staff member realized what had happened, Su Ran had already rewrapped his long sword in silk, affixed it to his back, and began walking back. The energy target in the air had been split cleanly in two. Seeing the green letters that read test passed on the screen, the staff member's mouth hung open, and a human expression of bewilderment appeared on his face. A human-shaped beast. Looks like I passed, Su Ran said with a smile. He had decided on a whim to give it a try. Every time the contract power reached a new growth stage, it brought not only additional contract slots, but also 2 significant improvements for a beast master. The first was the depth of contractual sensing. As the contractual sensing deepened, the rapport between the beast master and the pet beast would also rapidly improve. The second was the feedback of contract power. If the pet beast's strength remained the same, but the stage of contract power increased, the power the beast master could feedback from the pet beast would also increase. However, normally, an increase in the contract power stage corresponds to a rise in the pet beast's growth stage. Additionally, contracting a new pet beast in the extra contract slot can also result in new strength feedback. As a result, a beast master's strength would grow faster than their pet beasts, with each increase in the contract power stage. By the 5th stage of contract power, the feedback was already close to 20% of the pet beast's own power, a substantial ratio. If all 5 pet beasts broke through to the king stage simultaneously, the beast master's own strength could also reach the king stage level. Therefore, the king-level beast master is a unique stage. The shortcoming of a beast master's own weakness would gradually disappear at this stage. Su-ran was at this very stage now. Although 3 of his pet beasts had not reached the king stage and were still at the elite stage, and the firefly feedback from Zeon, which was barely better than nothing, his strength had already touched the threshold of the king stage thanks to the formidable powers of Zeon and Kankan. Therefore, Su-ran wanted to try using his own strength to see if he could pass this test. Now it seemed that he could. Yes, you passed. The staff member spoke woodenly. He had assisted many beast masters with their tests, but this was the first time he had seen someone leave their pet beasts behind and take on the challenge alone. Chapter 683, 333, Strength Test and Acquaintances. It wasn't until Su-ran reminded him that he remembered to award the badge. Soon after, Su-ran, playing with a badge engraved with a star pattern and accompanied by 5 little creatures, strolled out of the Beast Master Association. Now he had only one goal left. That was to find a place to stay for the night. If possible, it would be best to sort out the shop location issue as well. However, this task turned out to be smoother than he anticipated. Because just a few steps after leaving the Beast Master Association, Su-ran saw an acquaintance. Su, Boss Su. Liu Fengyun looked at Su-ran in astonishment, his face filled with disbelief. I thought I was seeing things. It really is you. What brings you to Xuanxing City? Boss Liu, long time no see. Su-ran's face also showed surprise. I thought you were still in Monster Wooden City. Monster Wooden City is getting better and better. Many of the bosses we met back then have chosen to stay and develop there. Liu Fengyun smiled. But I still prefer Xuanxing City, so I came back. Let's talk about you. Why have you come to Xuanxing City? Liu Fengyun's eyes sparkled with a teasing tone. You're not here to open a branch, are you? Suddenly, the surroundings became quiet. Realizing something from Su-ran's strange expression, Liu Fengyun's teasing face gradually shifted to astonishment. Are you really planning to open a branch in Xuanxing City? Indeed, I've just arrived today, Su-ran smiled. It looks like I'll be counting on you more in the future. You this? Liu Fengyun's expression became quite animated. He had long regarded Su-ran as a friend, and naturally, he was happy for his friend to open a store in Xuanxing City, but with such an abnormal fellow coming in, his own foster shop was going to have a harder time. In Monster Wooden City, he had witnessed just how strong Su-ran's washing and protection technique was, and it wasn't just the washing and protection that made Starfair Foster Care Shop strong. Their foster and training services were equally matchless. Such a fellow was like a catfish disrupting a pond. Forget it, forget it. He sighed deeply. Liu Fengyun waved his hand. Have you picked out a shop yet? Do you need my help? In Xuanxing City, I still have some sway. I haven't chosen yet. Please recommend a good shop for sale, Boss Liu. Su-ran chuckled, not standing on ceremony. All right then oh no, that's not right. Liu Fengyun smacked his forehead. I was so surprised to see you, I forgot I had something important to do. I'm on my way to the Beast Master Association. Shall I finish there and then take you to see shops? I've just come from there. Shall we go together? Su-ran chuckled. If there's anything I can help you with, don't be shy. Having found a reliable guide in Liu Fengyun, the problem of finding a shop location was halfway resolved. With nothing else to do, he might as well accompany Liu Fengyun back to the association. That's fine too, Liu Fengyun thought for a moment, with nothing to hide about his own matters, and nodded agreeably. Side by side, the two returned to the Beast Master Association, casually chatting along the way. Through Liu Fengyun, Su-ran also learned about the current situation in Monster Wooden City. After the successful evolution of the sky-touching mysterious wood, the realm of the Monster Wooden domain kept expanding outward, and Monster Wooden City, once a ruin, also rose from the ashes, expanding its size. Now, in terms of the scale of the city, it was even larger than Zeon City. More and more human beast masters came to the city, drawn by its name, migrating to within Monster Wooden City, injecting new blood into the city eager for revival. But the washing and protection service of the foster shops in Monster Wooden City wasn't doing too well. Because the semi-saint of the evolved demon would began to bestow treasures capable of cleansing and enhancing the condition of the creatures within the monster wooden domain without any compensations. Not mystical would do, but an upgraded version Saint Spirit do. This meant that foster shops could only transition towards providing services like fostering and training companions. Suran was already aware of this. The revenues from the washing and protection services at Monster Wooden City's Starfare foster care shop kept declining, while the other two services increased. He had seen it clearly through the system backend, and the system store manager of Monster Wooden City had also called him to explain the situation. After discussing the situation in Monster Wooden City, inevitably, the two turned to talk about what made Xuanxing City special. Boss Su, our wind and cloud foster care shop in Xuanxing City has much stronger capabilities than during our Monster Wooden City days, Liu Fengyun said with a chuckle. The main reason is Star Stone. Many of our specialized equipment require Star Stone energy to function. They can't be used in Monster Wooden City, hence our abilities there were compromised. Although your Starfare foster shop is strong, it won't be easy to outdo our wind and cloud here in Xuanxing City. The confidence was evident on Liu Fengyun's face. Once my shop is settled, I will certainly visit, Su Ran smiled. He was also curious about the equipment energized by Star Stones. That's a promise, Liu Fengyun nodded, then his tone changed. Here we are. As they spoke, the two had returned to the Beast Master Association. This time, Liu Fengyun went directly into a particular area of the association, while Su Ran silently followed behind, not uttering a word. Shortly thereafter, they arrived at a conference room. In the conference room, a well-built man was holding a tablet, replaying a video. As Su Ran and Liu Fengyun entered, the man looked up, but quickly his gaze shifted from Liu Fengyun to Su Ran, following behind him, a glimmer of surprise in his eyes. Vice President Qin, can the association give me a result for the thing last time? Chapter 684-333, Strength Test and Acquaintances. Sitting down in the conference room, Liu Fengyun looked at the burly man with neither subservience nor arrogance. According to Article 8 of Xuanxing City's public security law, a beast master who causes trouble for the common people must take full responsibility and pay double compensation for all losses. Du Long's behavior has clearly constituted such troublemaking. 4 days have passed, so why has the association not issued a resolution? Vice President Qin rubbed his brow, his face showing a hint of helplessness. This matter is indeed somewhat difficult to handle. To this point, I might as well be frank with you, Vice President Qin sighed. This Du Long is not an ordinary person, he has connections. Therefore, to expect a just resolution to this matter, there's significant resistance. Does the Beast Master Association intend to just watch and do nothing? Liu Fengyun's eyebrows were tightly furrowed, his voice taking on a few shades deeper. No, of course we won't do nothing, Vice President Qin replied with a bitter smile, but it might require a little more time. Standing behind Liu Fengyun, Su Ran didn't say a word, but he was also quietly observing Vice President Qin. On the way here, Liu Fengyun had already given Su Ran a brief explanation of the situation. And the situation was not complicated. The beast master named Du Long had gone to Wind and Cloud foster care shop to have his pet beast cleaned and groomed, but the person who received him was not Liu Fengyun, it was another hired groomer. This groomer was a woman with good looks. During the grooming process, Du Long, driven by lust, verbally harassed the groomer and showed tendencies to take action, which was sternly refused by the groomer. Liu Fengyun, who rushed over after hearing about the incident, did not hesitate to kick Du Long out. Yet, this action infuriated Du Long. He wreaked havoc in Wind and Cloud foster care shop and cursed as he left. Fortunately, Du Long had not completely lost his senses to injure or even kill someone. The only losses of Wind and Cloud foster care shop were some properties. After the incident, Liu Fengyun immediately reported it to the Beast Master Association for handling, but the decision on Du Long was delayed, prompting him to visit again. What followed led to the current conversation. Clearly, this Du Long character had substantial connections, enough to give even the vice president of the Beast Master Association a headache. Still 3,000 words to go, hustling. This room can perform accurate strength tests. The staff member paused before continuing. You may let your pet beasts fight together, or just one pet beast at a time. As long as the total strength meets the standard, you can acquire the Starlight Badge. The benchmark is roughly equivalent to the full strength of an ordinary general-level Beast Master, which is also the minimum strength to ensure one won't easily encounter danger outside the city. Only with such strength can the association confidently bestow the badge. "All right," Su-Ran nodded in acknowledgement. Then with one hand on the long sword at his back, he stepped towards the center of the room. "Staff member." Looking at the 5 pet beasts left to the side, he fell into self-doubt. Was there anything unclear in his explanation just now? "How come?" Before the staff member could figure it out, a crisp sound of a sword rang throughout the room. By the time the staff member snapped back to reality, Su-Ran had already rewrapped his long sword in silk cloth, secured it on his back, and began walking back. The energy target in the air had been split cleanly in two. Seeing the 4 green characters "Test Passed" appear on the light screen, the staff member's mouth hung open, his face assuming an all-too-human blankness. "A human-shaped beast. It seems I've passed," Su-Ran said with a smile. He too had made a spontaneous decision to try. With every stage increase in contract power, not only additional contract slots are obtained, but 2 significant improvements are also brought to a Beast Master. First, the depth of contractual sensing. As contractual sensing deepens, so does the rapport between a Beast Master and their pet beasts. Second is the Firefly feedback of the contract power. With the pet beast's strength constant, the rise in stages of contract power also increases the power a Beast Master can receive in feedback from their pet beast. But typically, an increase in stages of contract power corresponds to an increase in the growth stage of pet beasts. Besides that, contracting with new pet beasts provides opportunities for new power feedback. This means that the strength of a Beast Master, as contract power stages increase, will grow faster than that of the pet beasts. By the 5th stage contract power, the feedback power is nearly 20% of the pet beast's own strength, a considerable proportion indeed. If 5 pet beasts simultaneously break through to King Stage, the Beast Master's own strength can also reach King Stage. Thus, the King-level Beast Master is a special stage. The shortcoming of a Beast Master's own weakness will gradually disappear at this stage. Su-Ran is currently in this stage. Although 3 of his pet beasts have not reached King Stage and are still at the Elite Stage, and the feedback from the Firefly is almost negligible, because of the formidable strength of Xian and Cancan, he had already reached the threshold of King level. So Su-Ran wanted to test if he could pass this test with his own strength. Now it seemed that he could. "Yes, you've passed," the staff member said woodenly. He had assisted many Beast Masters in testing, but this was the first time seeing someone leave their pet beasts aside and face the challenge alone. So much so, that it wasn't until Su-Ran reminded him did he remember to bestow the badge. Chapter 685, 333, Strength Test and Acquaintances. Not long after, Su-Ran emerged from the Beast Master Association, toying with a badge engraved with stars, followed by his 5 little companions. Now he had only one goal left, and that was to find a place to stay for the night. If possible, it would be best to sort out the shop issue as well. However, things turned out to be smoother than he had anticipated. Because just a few steps away from the Beast Master Association, Su-Ran saw a familiar face. Boss Su." Liu Fengyun stared at Su-Ran with astonishment, his face full of disbelief. "I thought I was seeing things. It's really you. How did you end up in Xuanxing City?" "Boss Liu, long time no see." Su-Ran was equally surprised. "I thought you were still in Monster Wooden City." "Monster Wooden City has been getting better and better, and many of the shop owners we met back then have chosen to stay and develop there," Liu Fengyun said with a smile. "But I still prefer Xuanxing City, so I came back." "But let's talk about you. Why are you in Xuanxing City?" Liu Fengyun's eyes held a teasing glint. "Don't tell me you're here to open a branch." Suddenly, the surroundings became quiet. Realizing something from Su-Ran's strange expression, Liu Fengyun's look of amusement gradually turned to shock. "You're really here to open a branch in Xuanxing City?" "Indeed, I just arrived today," Su-Ran smiled. "Looks like I'll be relying on you a lot from now on." "You this?" Liu Fengyun's expression turned lively. He had already considered Su-Ran a friend, so naturally, he was happy about his friend opening a shop in Xuanxing City, but with such a freak coming, his own foster care shop might not have as easy a time as before. In Monster Wooden City, He had witnessed just how strong Su Ran's washing and protection skills were, and the Starfair foster care shop excelled not only in washing and protection, but also in foster care and companion training. Such a person was like throwing a catfish into a pond. Forget it, Liu Fengyun heaved a heavy sigh and waved his hand. Have you picked out a shop yet? Need some help? I still carry some clout in Chuanxing City. Haven't chosen yet, please recommend a good shop for sale. Su Ran chuckled without any pretense with Liu Fengyun. Okay, let's. Oh wait, Liu Fengyun slapped his forehead. Seeing you was such a surprise, I forgot I have business to attend to. I need to make a trip to the Beast Master Association. Shall I take you to see the shops afterward? I just came from there, shall we go together? Su Ran chuckled. If there's anything I can help with, don't be shy. Now that he had found Liu Fengyun, a reliable guide, the problem of the shop was halfway solved. There was nothing better to do, so it made sense to accompany Liu Fengyun and take a look. That works, Liu Fengyun thought about it. There was nothing about his own matters that needed to be kept secret, so he readily agreed. Side by side, the two made their way back to the Beast Master Association, casually chatting as they went. Thanks to Liu Fengyun, Su Ran got to know a bit about the current situation in Monster Wooden City. After the successful evolution of the sky-touching mysterious wood, the expanse of the Monster Wooden domain kept expanding outwards. The former ruins of Monster Wooden City had also risen from the ashes, expanding in size, and now in terms of city scale, it was even larger than Xi'an City. More and more human beast masters, drawn by its reputation, were migrating into Monster Wooden City, injecting new life into what was once a desolate place. However, the washing and protection service for foster care shops in Monster Wooden City was not easy anymore. Because the Demon Wood Semi-Saint, successful in its evolution, had started to bestow treasures capable of cleansing and enhancing the state of the creatures within the Monster Wooden domain free of charge. Not mystical wood dew, but an upgraded version of it, Saint Spirit dew. As a result, foster care shops could only transform their services towards fostering, companion training, and other such directions. Su Ran was already aware of this. The revenues from washing and protection services at the Starfair foster care shop in Monster Wooden City kept declining, while the revenues from other two services kept rising. He saw it all clearly through the system's backend, and the system store manager of Monster Wooden City had even called him to explain the reasons. After discussing the situation in Monster Wooden City, inevitably, the two of them touched upon the unique aspects of Chuanxing City. Boss Su, our wind and cloud foster care shop is much stronger in Chuanxing City than it was in Monster Wooden City, Liu Fengyun said with a chuckle. The main reason is the star stone. Many of our specialized equipment require charging with star stones to be used. Such equipment can't be used in Monster Wooden City, which reduces the display of our power there. Although your Starfair foster care shop is strong, it won't be easy to surpass us here at Wind and Cloud, said Liu Fengyun, with a hint of confidence on his face. Once I've settled my shop, I will definitely come to visit, Su Ran replied with a smile. He was also curious about the equipment that required star stone charging. It's a deal, Liu Fengyun nodded, then changed the subject. We've arrived. While speaking, they had returned to the Beast Master Association. This time, Liu Fengyun headed straight into a certain section of the association, while Su Ran followed in silence, not uttering a word. Before long, they came to a conference room. In the conference room, a well-built man was replaying a video on the tablet in his hands. As Su Ran and his companion entered, the man looked up, but his gaze quickly shifted from Liu Fengyun and focused on Su Ran following behind, a flicker of surprise in his eyes. Vice President Qin, can the association give me a result regarding the last incident? After sitting down in the meeting room, Liu Fengyun looked at the big man with neither servility nor overbearingness. According to Article 8 of Chuanxing City's public safety law, a beast master who instigates trouble with the general public should take full responsibility and pay double compensation for all losses. Du Long's actions clearly constituted instigating trouble. It's been 4 days. Why hasn't the association provided a resolution? Vice President Qin massaged his temples, his face showing a semblance of helplessness. This matter is quite tricky indeed. I might as well be upfront with you at this point. Vice President Qin let out a sigh. This Du Long isn't just anyone, he has a background. So to get a fair result for this case, there's considerable resistance. Is the Beast Master Association going to turn a blind eye? Liu Fengyun's brow furrowed tightly, his voice deepening a few notches. Not at all, of course, we won't ignore it, Vice President Qin replied with a wry smile, but it may take a little more time. Su Ran, standing behind Liu Fengyun, remained silent but was discreetly observing Vice President Qin. Liu Fengyun had already briefly explained his situation to Su Ran on the way. And it wasn't complex. The beast master named Du Long went to the Wind and Cloud foster care shop to have his pet beast cleaned and cared for, and was not received by Liu Fengyun himself, but by another washing and protection service specialist they had hired. This service specialist was a woman with good looks. During the cleaning process, Du Long, overcome by lust, verbally harassed the service specialist and seemed inclined to take matters a step further, but was firmly rejected. Upon hearing the news, Liu Fengyun unhesitatingly kicked Du Long out, but this only infuriated Du Long. He wreaked havoc in the Wind and Cloud foster care shop before leaving with curses and complaints. Fortunately, Du Long had not completely lost his mind to the point of injuring someone or worse. The only losses suffered by the Wind and Cloud foster care shop were some property damages. After the incident, Liu Fengyun took the initiative to report the matter to the Beast Master Association for handling. However, the decision regarding Du Long was delayed, necessitating Liu Fengyun to pay another visit. The subsequent situation led to the current conversation. It was clear that this guy named Du Long had significant backing, giving even the vice president of the Beast Master Association a headache. Chapter 686-334, Chuangsing City Starfair Foster Care Shop, Grand Opening. On the quiet streets early in the morning, two figures hurried along. Suddenly, one of them came to a stop. Noticing something amiss, the other turned his head and asked, "Mew coming? When did a foster shop pop up here?" Tang Mew's gaze settled on a store by the street, his curiosity piqued. Starfair Foster. His companion Zhou Yang followed his line of sight with interest, then shook his head. "Haven't heard of it. Must be a new opening, right? Let's hurry to the Pingshan Foster Shop. I've heard it offers the best foster care service in the entire Chuangsing City. I'm even a bit jealous of your pet beast," Zhou Yang chuckled. "Hold on," Tang Mew paused for a moment. "I'd like to check out this place first before deciding. Oh, my ancestors, to find a satisfactory foster shop for your pet beast. We've nearly checked out every single shop in Chuangsing City." Zhou Yang rolled his eyes, struggling to hide his impatience. "We finally settled on Pingshan Foster Shop, and now you want to scout this place. It's my pet beast's first time in foster care. I have to find the most suitable environment for it." Tang Mew spoke earnestly. "Honestly, if its body type hadn't grown too much with evolution, I would never consider such a choice. Now that we've discovered a foster shop we haven't seen before, why not take a look? What if, by chance, this shop has an even better environment than Pingshan Foster Shop?" "You stubborn guy," Zhou Yang shook his head in resignation. He was no stranger to his good friend's quirky temperament. Now that Tang Mew had made up his mind, it was like trying to pull 8 oxen back. "Fine, but we go straight to Pingshan Foster Shop after checking out this one," Zhou Yang said with a roll of his eyes. "All this time spent on finding a foster store for a pet beast, and you always drag me along. Give me a break." As for the possibility of this shop having a better foster environment than Pingshan Foster Shop, Zhou Yang hadn't even considered it. What a joke! Pingshan Foster Shop is long established and well known in Chuangsing City, whereas he had never heard of the one in front of him until today. "All right," Tang Mew nodded, a hint of embarrassment on his face. He realized how taxing the recent days must have been for Zhou Yang, running around Chuangsing City to find a suitable foster shop for his pet beast. But he didn't have many friends, and Zhou Yang was the only one with experience in pet fostering, so he had no choice but to ask for his help and advice. "I'll treat you to lunch at noon." "It's a deal. I'll have something expensive." Zhou Yang's spirits instantly lifted. Having reached an agreement, the two hastened towards the foster shop beside the street. Inside the Starfair Foster Care Shop, having just finished breakfast with the 5 little ones, Su Ran stretched leisurely and looked out nonchalantly at the somewhat deserted streets. After having dinner with Liu Fengyun the previous night and then separating, the new storefront had just been completed. After checking the entire premises, they settled in for the night. A night passed, and Su Ran woke up early to start the first day of business at the Starfair Foster in Chuangsing City. Unlike the Starfair Foster in Bright Radiant City, this time, Su Ran had the luxury of not feeling too much pressure to raise the shop's fame. He could just let things take their natural course. He definitely wouldn't leave here before Star's evolution. And Star's evolution was clearly not something that could be accomplished quickly. In terms of evolution condition, Star still needed to raise 4 skills to 4 stars, and 3 more skills to reach Violent Sun-level proficiency. Regarding evolution materials, Star still lacked the Town Starstone and Dawn Star Radiance, 2 key substances. So if Star could evolve in 1 or 2 months, that would be quite good. Therefore, not having any customers come in for an hour of opening the shop, he still maintained his composure. After sipping some Fallen Star tea he had bought on his way out of the restaurant the day before, Su Ran felt invigorated and his mind became clearer. Besides Star's evolution, there was another matter that needed to be scheduled. That was the evolution of Starfare into a king species. Now, with more and more resources at his disposal, evolving a leader species into a king species had become a walk in the park for Su Ran. Just one allocation of resources had been enough for Starfare to meet all evolution conditions and gather the necessary materials. The only thing holding back its evolution was the slightly special evolution ritual. The place where heart-burning poisonous flame marrow grew was located in 3 parts of Beast Field 47, according to the intelligence Su Ran had exchanged. Among these 3 places, one was within the dominion of a beast king, a no-go. The other 2 each had their pros and cons. One was on the edge of Beast Field 47, where neighboring zones contained transcendent beings of weaker strength, making it safer, but it was also farther from Su Ran. The nearest of the 4 branches that Su Ran ran in Beast Field 47 was still a 3-day journey away from it. The other was central in Beast Field 47, very close to Xian City, only 1 or 2 hours away. However, this region was populated with stronger transcendent beings, including over a dozen beast kings. Originally, Su Ran preferred the former for its safety despite the distance. Now, following Xian's evolution, Su Ran had decided to choose the latter as the site for Starfare's evolution. Beast kings? Put together, they wouldn't even be a match for a single Xian. But there's no rush on this matter. It could wait a few more days, giving Starfare some time to prepare as well. Chapter 687-334, Starfare Foster Shop in Chuangsing City, Grand Opening. Can and 12's evolution was equally unhurried. One had just started to prepare, while the other had not even acquired an evolution path and certainly couldn't evolve in the short term. The arrival of 2 figures into the shop interrupted Su Ran's reverie. Seeing that a customer had finally come, Su Ran put down his teacup and skillfully revealed a polite and friendly smile. "Welcome, Tilda." "Hello, how much does it cost to foster pets in your shop?" Tang Mu, entering the storefront, approached Su Ran and got straight to the point. "Foster care." A flicker of surprise passed through Su Ran's eyes. It seemed that this time, the store's first deal might not be for washing and protection. "You can look at the price menu behind you," Su Ran suggested. "All right." Tang Mu nodded slightly and then turned around. Upon clearly seeing the rows of prices, a look of surprise crossed his face, but he remained silent. On the other hand, Zhou Yang, who had come with Tang Mu, immediately expressed his doubt. "Your foster care rates are almost 2 to 3 times higher than other shops. Are you kidding?" "Sir, the service determines the price," Su Ran said with a smile. "After you see our foster environment, I believe you will have a new view of this price." "No service justifies that price." Zhou Yang rolled his eyes, showing no inclination to even glance at the foster environment due to Su Ran's words. "Tang Mu, let's just go." He had already branded the store known as Starfare Foster as a black shop. However, upon hearing the words "service determines the price," a look of intrigue appeared in Tang Mu's eyes. His personality had a stubborn and earnest side. Rather than following hearsay, he trusted his own eyes more. That's why, after learning from Zhou Yang that Pingshan Foster offered the best foster service in Chuangsing City, he didn't immediately decide, and instead dragged Zhou Yang around to inspect every foster shop big and small in Chuangsing City, before eventually choosing to foster at Pingshan Foster Shop. And now Su Ran's words had moved him. After several days of effort, all he sought was the best care for his pet beast. If the young owner's words were true, then the service here might indeed be exceptional. "Zhou Yang, let's take a look at the foster environment first," Tang Mu said without hesitation. "Hey you!" Joe Yang, who had already stepped 1 foot out of the shop, wore a resigned look and silently stepped back in. "Fine, let's take a look." "Please, this way," Su Ran said with a smile, simultaneously letting out a sigh of relief. Fortunately, the shop's first deal had not fallen through. As for the possibility that the two would opt not to choose Starfare Foster after inspecting the Foster environment, Su Ran had not even considered it. From the first shop in Kingju City to now, there had never been a case where someone did not choose Starfare Foster after seeing the Foster environment. This was the source of his confidence. Under Su Ran's lead, they soon arrived at an expansive, boundless wasteland. "Wow, it's so big. This must use space expansion technology, right?" Joe Yang's eyes widened, astonishment etched on his face from Su Ran's grand gesture. "Is all this space used for fostering?" "Yes," Su Ran nodded with a smile. "At this moment, all of the area you see is used for fostering space, but since it's the shop's first day opening, there are no residents, so it seems a bit desolate." "It is indeed quite desolate," Tang Mu agreed seriously. Though he was also taken aback by Su Ran's grand gesture, his greater concern for his pet beast's quality of life quickly led him to spot the shortcomings here. The environment was too monotonous. Only pet beasts with an earth attribute would probably adapt to such a terrain and geomorphology. And the pet beast he wanted to foster was not of the earth attribute. "A vast space is good, but a monotonous environment won't do," Tang Mu shook his head. "Do you only have this kind of foster environment?" "No, you are mistaken, sir," Su Ran shook his head. "Here is the undeveloped foster area. We will customize the exclusive activity and living areas according to the actual pet beasts being fostered. Have you ever heard of simulated environments?" "That's how it is," Tang Mu nodded in understanding. If that were the case, he could accept it. The hexagram star array flickered behind Tang Mu, and soon a huge figure emerged from the storm. It was a human-shaped pet beast, standing over 10 meters tall, with green fur and mane all over its body, holding a bone rod in its hand and exuding a fierce aura. Wind attribute king species, the wind roar beast. After summoning the pet beast he intended to foster, Tang Mu looked towards Su Ran again. "Could you customize the activity area for my wind roar beast as you mentioned? I want to see the effect of the customization you talked about." "Certainly." Su Ran nodded, took out the control hub, and after inquiring in detail about the wind roar beast's preferences and habits, a space exclusively for it was constructed before everyone's eyes. "Well," the wind roar beast let out a cheer, dashed into it in a flash, and roamed through the sea of wind with a look of complete satisfaction on its face. Clearly, it liked the environment here. And Tang Mu, who felt the contractual sensing with the wind roar beast, could sense that such emotion was something the wind roar beast had never had in the previous inspection. Joe Yang was equally agape. This huge area all for the wind roar beast. He took in a breath of cold air, envy evident on his face. In an ordinary foster shop, perhaps this whole area would be the extent of the foster area, but here, such a vast space was dedicated to a single pet beast. Chapter 688-334, Chuangsing City Starfare Foster Shop, Grand Opening. Unfortunately, his pet beast no longer needed to be fostered. Even a golden nest or a silver nest is not as good as one's own dog nest. Otherwise, he would definitely choose this foster shop. Completely forgetting that just 10 minutes ago he still thought this shop was a black shop, Joe Yang turned to look at Tang Mu. "What's there to hesitate about? Let's go with this place." "Who says Pingshan Foster Shop is the #1 in Chuangsing City? In his opinion, it won't be long before this shop surpasses Pingshan Foster Shop." Tang Mu was also very tempted in his heart. However, he was well aware that for fostering, the environment was only one aspect. There was still another part that needed to be evaluated. "I would like to know, how do you usually prepare food for the fostered pet beasts?" Tang Mu asked earnestly. "We have a specialized food preparation room. Please come this way." Su Ran smiled and quickly took them to a house where food was prepared. After taking a tour inside, Su Ran magically produced a long list. "If you choose our store for fostering, this will be the Wind Roar Beast's daily menu." This, Tang Mu only glanced at it and couldn't take his eyes off it anymore. The food was much more sumptuous than what he prepared for the Wind Roar Beast, and it seemed very well balanced nutritionally, leaving him unable to find fault. "We'll settle on your place." After handing back the menu to Su Ran, Tang Mu made his decision. "Thank you for choosing our shop." A smile appeared on Su Ran's face. Excellent, the new store's first business deal was closed. Reluctantly leaving the wind-roar beast in the foster area, Tang Mu and Zhou Yang followed Su, ran back into the storefront. Without any hesitation, Tang Mu paid for a month of fostering fees and then turned to Su Ran. Boss Su, I'm entrusting my wind-roar beast to you. Rest assured, our shop will take great care of each fostered pet beast, making them feel at home, Su Ran said solemnly. Speaking of which, your shop is really peculiar. Zhou Yang chuckled. I just realized that not only is fostering expensive here, but the cleaning and accompanying training services are also more expensive than elsewhere. But like fostering, our prices depend on the service, Su Ran replied with a smile. Oh, so you're saying your washing and protection is better than other places? Zhou Yang said, half believing, really. Fostering environments can be improved with those expensive techniques, but how much can washing and protection improve? Zhou Yang said skeptically. The best washing and protection in Chuanxing City at Wind Cloud Foster Shop is already the most impressive I've seen. Well, Su Ran smiled. It's just talk with no proof, sir. You might as well try it, and after trying, you'll naturally see the difference. After I try it, I'll have to pay. Zhou Yang rolled his eyes, then changed his tone. But I really do want to try it. His pet beast just happened to need cleaning and grooming. Based on what he had just witnessed, Zhou Yang was indeed curious about what made this pricey washing and protection so special. But let me be blunt, Zhou Yang huffed. I'm a regular at Wind Cloud Foster Shop. I'm not completely inexperienced with pet cleaning and grooming, so it won't be easy to pull the wool over my eyes. Of course we won't fool you, Su Ran smiled, please. All right, Zhou Yang turned to Tang Mu. Old Tang, are you going back first? You said you were treating me to lunch, why go back now? Tang Mu shook his head. You accompanied me for several days of inspections. Accompanying you for a grooming session is nothing. Besides, I'm curious about the level of grooming at the shop too. Fair enough. Zhou Yang laughed heartily as the hexagram star array behind him bloomed with light. Before long, a monkey-type pet beast enveloped in blazing flames stepped out of the whirlwind. Fire attribute king species, refining flame monkey. Boss Su this one, Zhou Yang said with arms crossed and a teasing smile. Choosing this particular one from his pet beasts, Zhou Yang obviously didn't do so randomly. Even though it was a king species, the refining flame monkey wasn't large in size. Even at the general stage, it remained a medium-sized pet beast, and the cost of its grooming was lower. As a fire attribute pet beast, the refining flame monkey was also the most difficult to groom among all of Zhou Yang's pet beasts. He wanted to spend less money, and at the same time, fully test the grooming skills of the young shop owner before him. Zhou Yang couldn't help but pat himself on the back for his cleverness. No problem, Su Ran glanced at the refining flame monkey, not at all bothered by the fact that it was a fire attribute. No matter what attribute, once they enter the washing and protection room, they'll have to cry out. System identification, here we go. Race name, refining flame monkey. Attribute fire. Growth stage, general level. Body type, medium. Washing and protection requirement. Evaluation. The scorching flames cover its body, longing for grooming. This is one burning monkey that craves the deft touch of its host to bring it joy. Burning monkey. Su Ran was momentarily at a loss for words. System, oh system, this monkey might be flaming hot, but you're saucier. Please follow me. Su Ran regained his composure and turned towards the direction of the grooming room. Go on, go on. Zhou Yang waved towards the refining flame monkey and chuckled with a grin. He didn't have the habit of accompanying his pet beast during the grooming process. That's because Zhou Yang believed that seeing the state of the pet beast after the grooming, without watching the process, could give a clearer sense of the before and after comparison. Zhou Yang engaged his sensory sharing with the refining flame monkey. That way, he could better experience what the refining flame monkey felt during the grooming. Chapter 689-334, Starfare Foster Shop in Chuanxing City, Grand Opening. This was what Zhou Yang was interested in. He wanted to see what was so special about this washing and protection that cost twice as much. Wu Tilda. The refining flame monkey nodded and quickly followed Su Ran. Through prior communication with Zhou Yang, it had learned that the foster shop for this washing and protection was not the familiar one it had known before. The one who would be caring for it was a completely new person. As the pair, human and pet beast, entered the cleaning and caring room, the door slowly closed behind them. Outside the room, Joe Young, who had no idea what awaited him and the refining flame monkey, slapped Tang Mu's shoulder with a chuckle. "Old Tang, their lounge doesn't look too bad. Want to sit for a while?" Tang Mu nodded, and the two soon sat down in the lounge, starting to chat leisurely. Meanwhile, inside the cleaning and caring room, Su Ran, having settled the refining flame monkey, began the pre-wash preparations orderly and methodically. 2,000 words remain, frantically typing away. Hoo-hoo! The wind roar beast let out a cheer and dashed into it, frolicking in the sea of wind, its face brimming with satisfaction. Clearly, it enjoyed the environment here. Tang Mu, who shared a contractual sensing with the wind roar beast, could feel an emotion in the beast that it had never experienced during previous inspections. Joe Young stood by, equally gobsmacked. All this area just for the wind roar beast, he inhaled sharply, a hint of envy coloring his expression. In an ordinary foster shop, such an area might represent the entire foster space, but here, such a large space was dedicated to just one pet beast. What a pity that his own pet beast no longer had the need for fostering. A golden kennel is not as good as its own doghouse. Otherwise, he would definitely choose this foster shop. Joe Young, who had thought of this establishment as a black shop just 10 minutes prior, turned to Tang Mu. "What are you hesitating for? Let's settle for this place." So what if Pingshan Foster Shop was considered the best in Chuangsing City? In his opinion, it wouldn't take long for this shop to surpass Pingshan Foster Shop. In Tang Mu's heart, he was quite tempted. However, he knew well that for fostering, the environment was just one aspect. There was another part to consider. "I want to know, how do you normally prepare food for the fostered pet beasts?" Tang Mu asked earnestly. "We have a dedicated food preparation room. Please follow me this way," Su Ran said with a smile, quickly leading them to a building where the food was prepared. After a tour, Su Ran magically produced a long list. "If you choose our shop for fostering, this will be the daily menu for the wind roar beast." This, Tang Mu glanced at it and couldn't look away. The menu was much richer than the food he prepared for the wind roar beast, and it seemed very nutritionally balanced, leaving him nothing to criticize. "We'll go with your place," he said, handing the list back to Su Ran, making his decision final. "Thank you for choosing our shop." Su Ran's face displayed a hint of a smile. Good, the new shop's first business deal was sealed. After reluctantly leaving the wind roar beast in the foster area, Tang Mu and Joe Yang followed Su Ran back into the shop. Without any hesitation, Tang Mu paid for a month's fostering and looked at Su Ran. "Boss Su, I entrust my wind roar beast to your care. Rest assured, our shop will take great care of each and every fostered pet beast, giving them a home away from home," Su Ran replied solemnly. "That being said, your shop really is strange," Joe Yang chuckled from the side. "I just realized, not only is your fostering expensive, but your cleaning and accompanying training services are more expensive than elsewhere." "But just like fostering, our prices depend on the service," Su Ran responded with a smile. "Oh, so your cleaning is better than other places too?" Joe Young asked skeptically. "Really or not? For fostering environments, you can improve it with those expensive technologies, but how much better can cleaning get?" Joe Young spoke with some disbelief. "Wind and Cloud Foster Care Shop is the best in Chuangsing City I've seen so far for cleaning." "Well," Su Ran chuckled, "words are wind. You might as well try it out for yourself. After the experience, you'll know where the difference lies." "Once I've tried, I'll have to pay." Joe Young rolled his eyes before his tone changed. "But I really do want to give it a try." His pet beast was just in need of washing and protection. Based on what he had seen earlier, Joe Young was quite curious. What exactly made this expensive service so special? "But let me make one thing clear," Joe Young huffed. "I'm a regular at the Wind and Cloud Foster Shop, and I've had plenty of pet beast cleaning and caring, so I'm not a complete layman. You won't have it so easy trying to fool me." "Of course I wouldn't dream of fooling you," Su Ran smiled. "Please." "All right," Joe Young looked towards Tang Mu. "Old Tang, are you heading back first?" "We agreed that I'd take you out for lunch. Why go back now?" Tang Mu shook his head. "You've accompanied me for a few days of evaluation. Washing and protecting your pet beast for once is nothing. And besides, I am quite curious about the level of service in this shop." "Fair enough." Joe Young laughed heartily as a hexagram star array burst into light behind him. Soon after, a monkey-type pet beast engulfed in raging flames stepped out from the swirling winds. It was a fire attribute king species, the refining flame monkey. "Boss Su, this is the one." Zhou Yang crossed his arms and winked gleefully. Choosing this pet beast was not a decision made on a whim. Even though it was of king species, the refining flame monkey wasn't large in size. Having reached the general stage, it remained a medium-sized pet beast, which meant lower carrying costs. Being a fire pet beast, the refining flame monkey was also the most challenging one to clean and care for among all of Zhou Yang's pets. Sparing some money while thoroughly testing the young shop owner's service level, Zhou Yang felt like giving his wit 100 likes. No problem, Su Ran glanced at the refining flame monkey, not daunted by its fire attribute in the slightest. Whatever your attribute, once you enter the washing room, you'll sing for me. System identification, let's go. Race name, refining flame monkey. Attribute, fire. Growth stage, general. Body type, medium. Washing and protection requirement. Evaluation. The scorching flames conceal its body's longing for care. This is a burned-out monkey that needs the host's nimble hands to provide joy. Burned-out monkey. Su Ran was momentarily at a loss for words. Oh system, no matter how much this monkey burns, it isn't as saucy as you. Please follow me. Su Ran composed himself and turned towards the washing room. Go ahead, Zhou Yang waved towards the refining flame monkey, chuckling mischievously. He wasn't in the habit of accompanying his pet beast during the cleaning process. Because Zhou Yang believed assessing the before and after of a wash, without watching the process allowed for a clearer perception of the differences. However, Zhou Yang activated sensory sharing with the refining flame monkey. In doing so, he could better feel what the refining flame monkey experienced during the wash. That was what Zhou Yang was concerned with. He was eager to see just what made the service cost double so special. Wu Tilda. The refining flame monkey nodded and followed closely behind Su Ran. Through the prior communication with Zhou Yang, it knew that the foster shop for this washing session was not the familiar one from before. The one caring for it was also a complete stranger. As the man and the beast entered the washing room, the doors slowly closed behind them. Outside the washing room, Zhou Yang, who was completely oblivious to what awaited him and the refining flame monkey, playfully patted Tang Mu's shoulder. Old Tang, the lounge here seems pretty decent. Shall we sit down? Tang Mu nodded, and the two quickly settled down in the lounge for chat. Meanwhile, inside the washing room, Su Ran had the refining flame monkey settled and was already starting the pre-wash preparations in an orderly fashion. Chapter 690-335. You have such nerve. Old Joe, are you really not considering blocking the sense sharing? Tang Mu looked helplessly at Zhou Yang, who clutched his fists against his thighs, his face turning an intense red, a look of restrained pain etched across his face. As time ticked by, Tang Mu had come to understand the reason behind Zhou Yang's unusual behavior. No. Zhou Yang clenched his teeth, squeezing out the trembling words through his gritted teeth. Experiencing the pet beast cleaning and caring was something he did every time, and this time was no exception. So what if the cleaning is too comfortably intense? Bring it on. And you say I'm the stubborn one. I think you're not much better, Tang Mu said with a sigh, shaking his head and turning his head away so as not to witness Zhou Yang's current predicament. It's an eyesore. After some time, Zhou Yang, his face showing extreme restraint, let out a breath of relief, and his tense body quickly relaxed. It's finally over. Over? Tang, with a curious look in his eyes, turned toward the direction of the cleaning room. Already curious about the high-priced services of the Starfair foster care shop, he was now even more intrigued by Zhou Yang's strange reaction and eager to see the final result of the cleaning. Zhou Yang was equally curious. He could see through the eyes of his refining flame monkey due to their shared senses, but didn't have an overarching view and couldn't see the monkey's actual condition. This was the first time he had been in such a disheveled state during the pet beast cleaning, so naturally, he was very curious about the outcome of the cleaning. Amid their curious and expectant gazes, the door of the cleaning room slowly opened, and Su Ran walked out briskly. Behind him followed a blazing inferno. It was the refining flame monkey, freshly finished with its cleaning. Now the fire surrounding the refining flame monkey was incredibly intense, as if it could burn everything to ash. Within the flames, one could vaguely see the smooth and muscular contour of its body, and its ferocious and powerful aura was on full display. Compared to before the cleaning, the refining flame monkey seemed to have evolved completely, undergoing a dramatic transformation. This intense contrast had a strong visual impact, causing Zhou Yang and Tang Mu to immediately stand up and rush out of the waiting area. Ha ha ha, fantastic! Zhou Yang, ecstatic, saw the current state of his refining flame monkey and realized how incredible Su Ran's cleaning was. At that moment, he even felt that the ordeal he had been through was worthwhile. Tang Mu also circled the refining flame monkey a few times, examining it thoroughly, clicking his tongue in amazement. Such impressive cleaning services, he was tempted himself. It was just unfortunate that his pet beast had just gone through a collective cleaning a few days ago and didn't need cleaning at the moment. He would have to opt for Starfare Foster next time he needed cleaning as well. If Mr. Zhou is satisfied, that's wonderful, Su Ran said with a slight smile. Are there any other pet beasts that need cleaning? Hearing Su Ran's question, Zhou Yang's smile froze on his face and he cleared his throat awkwardly. Tomorrow we'll come back tomorrow. Today was too intense. He felt like he couldn't take it anymore. If he had to clean a second pet beast right away, he would truly lose his composure on the spot. Better to take a breather first. Tang Mu at his side had a peculiar expression and helplessly covered his face with his hand. As an old friend of Zhou Yang's, he immediately guessed why Zhou Yang didn't continue with the cleaning for other pet beasts. This guy truly is as stubborn as they come. All could have been solved by simply blocking the sense sharing. All right, no problem, Su Ran responded with a small smile, oblivious to the events outside the cleaning room, not minding at all. Let's call it a day then, Zhou Yang said without hesitation, promptly paying the cleaning fee for the refining flame monkey. He glanced at Su Ran and then withdrew his gaze as quickly as if he had been shocked. For some reason, just looking at this guy made him recall all those sensations he had just experienced. Old Tang, let's get out of here, he tugged at Tang Mu, eager to leave Starfare Foster Care Shop. Take care, Su Ran said with a cheerful smile, watching the first batch of customers leave his new shop and then stretched lazily. Hidden in the shadows, Luminous fluttered its wings and landed on Su Ran's shoulder, its sea-blue eyes full of mirth. Chirp Tilda, the beast master of that refining flame monkey, kept the sensory sharing on throughout the whole cleaning process. Tilda. Huh, Su Ran blinked, showing a look of surprise. Because of his special cleaning method, the pet beasts that came to Starfare Foster for cleaning often made strange sounds. Beast masters of general level and above who came as customers almost always blocked their sense sharing during the cleaning to avoid embarrassing situations. Was there actually a beast master who was so headstrong as to keep the contractual sensing on the whole time? I remember their surveillance in the shop. Su Ran slapped his forehead, suddenly remembering something, and started operating the system behind the counter. Soon, the scene after he entered the cleaning room appeared before him. Watching Zhou Yang's increasingly odd posture in time with his own cleaning rhythm, Su Ran's expression gradually grew more amused. This really is stubbornness to the extreme. Chuanxing City, Pingshan Foster Shop. Recognized as the top foster care service in Chuanxing City, the shop has a constant stream of customers every day. Every day, new foster care residents are brought into the Pingshan Foster's fostering area, and those whose fostering period ends leave. Business is so booming that Pingshan Foster Shop even needs to use a booking system, which helps stabilize the number of residents in the fostering area through reasonable appointments and scheduling. Chapter 691, 335, You Have Such Nerve. Today, an unusual situation arose within the Pingshan Foster Shop. Boss, an employee responsible for foster care reservations, approached Tan Xiao, the owner of Pingshan Foster Shop, with a rather unsightly expression. A customer who made a reservation to foster a pet beast today has reneged on their commitment. Reneged? Tan Xiao's brows furrowed slightly as he looked at the employee. Did you confirm it over the phone? I've confirmed it. The employee nodded. Moreover, the reason for reneging was that they chose to foster at another shop. This is a case of being hijacked. Tan Xiao's frown deepened. It was occasional for a reserved client not to show up. Maybe due to some other factors, the client might have changed their mind about fostering, which was within reason. However, cases of reneging because they chose another foster shop were extremely rare at Pingshan. After all, Pingshan offered the best foster care services in the entirety of Chuanxing City. What's more admirable is that Pingshan did not increase its prices despite the higher quality of service, keeping them at the same level as other foster care shops. In such circumstances, The competitiveness of Pingshan Foster shop goes without saying. For a customer to be snatched away from them was certainly not ordinary. Did you ask which Foster shop they chose? He swiftly turned his head, looking at the employee. Was it Wind and Cloud or Star Rain? Within Chuangsing City, the three most famous Foster shops were these three. The three Foster shops each had their strengths and weaknesses. Pingshan excelled in fostering, Wind and Cloud were first in washing and protection, while Star Rain had the best accompanying training service. In Tan Xiao's view, only these two could possibly steal customers from his own business. Although in fostering they were not up to the level of his Pingshan Foster shop, they could certainly hijack his customers by bundling other services. I did ask. The employee quickly nodded. It's a foster shop called Starfear Foster Care Shop, apparently newly opened. Tan Xiao was provoked to laughter. What did you just say? A newly opened foster shop? A new foster shop daring to take his customers. A flicker of anger rose in his eyes. With the exception of Wind and Cloud Foster Care Shop and Star Rain Foster Shop, the other foster shops in Chuangsing City were not even on his radar, let alone this newly opened one. In Tan Xiao's view, this was akin to a mighty lion being provoked by a rabbit. Teach them a lesson, let them know the rules of running a foster shop, Tan Xiao hummed lowly, waving his hand dismissively. Understood, the employee nodded rapidly and swiftly turned to leave. He already knew what to do. Chuangsing City's Beast Master Association. Vice President Qin sat in his office, sipping tea while looking at the newspaper in his hand. When the tea was finished, and the newspaper had been flipped to the last page, he put it down and glanced at the time, muttering softly to himself. Then Vice President Qin took out his cell phone and shared a video in a small group chat. Qin Yu came across something interesting. It's the strength assessment record of the Starlight Badge from yesterday. Video. After posting the video, he set his phone down, his eyes flickering slightly. This small group consisted of only 6 people, but these 6 were the most powerful in Chuangsing City. The association's chairman and the 5 vice presidents. Chairman Qi Yuan oversaw the overall situation, while the 5 vice presidents were responsible for their own areas, managing the order of the entire Chuangsing City. Vice President Qin believed that once the chairman saw the video, there would surely be a corresponding reaction. Then it would be time to start the next part of the plan. Thinking this, Qin Huyu's gaze moved to a certain group member, his eyes glinting as he couldn't help but let out a low hum. Among the 5 vice presidents, Zhou Cheng was the highest in both power and authority. Once Chairman Qi Yuan stepped back from the front lines, Zhou Cheng was the most likely successor for the chairman's position. Probably for this reason, Zhou Cheng had a somewhat commanding presence over the other 4 vice presidents, and his relatives and cronies, flaunting his influence, had turned the association into a mess. Qin Huyu had long found Zhou Cheng unsatisfactory, but he knew he couldn't outfight him and thus acted cautiously. This was why he couldn't give Liu Fengyun a definitive answer the day before. He couldn't afford a direct conflict with Zhou Cheng over this matter. Even if he wanted to help, it had to be done without Zhou Cheng's awareness. To avoid any suspicion, Qin Huyu deliberately delayed for a day, pretending to have just discovered the video today and shared it in the group. That way, even if Zhou Cheng was suspicious, he wouldn't be able to deduce anything from a video that, on the surface, had no apparent connection to Liu Fengyun. And as expected, soon after sharing the video, there was new activity in the group chat. Zhu Cheng, this new king-level beast master sure is unfamiliar, must be from out of town. Not many beast masters who master martial arts. Chairman, come take a look at Qi Yuan. Seeing this message, a strange smile appeared on Qin Huyu's lips. Attracted by the activity in the group, the other 3 vice presidents also began to comment, sharing their thoughts after watching the video. Eventually, Qi Yuan chimed in. Qi Yuan, looks interesting. Is there a way to contact this person? I would like to exchange views on martial arts with him. That's it. Qin Huyu felt a surge of satisfaction, quickly typing a response. Qin Huyu, the assessment of the Starlight Badge was under my supervision. I have the records of this beast master. I'll handle it. Chapter 692, 335. You have such nerve. The other 4 vice presidents did not scramble to take on the task at this time. After all, the responsibility conferred by President Starlight had always been handled by Qin Huyu. Having Chin Yu take care of this matter was also justifiable. The chat group quickly fell into silence again, and Chin Yu, humming a tune from an opera, briskly walked out of the office. The fish is about to bite Tilda. Ha Tilda. Su-ran yawned, resting his chin on his hand while watching the crowd outside the shop. As the time approached noon, the street in front of the shop became increasingly lively. As a newly opened shop, Starfair Foster Care Shop attracted many curious passers-by, but those passers-by did not turn into customers. Upon seeing the price menu, they left without hesitation. Several hours after opening, apart from the first 2 customers, there had been no business at all. Chirp Tilda, was it this difficult when opening other branches too? 12's 12 claws grasped the decorative branch sticking out next to the counter, asking curiously. Meow Tilda, to even have 2 customers in the morning is quite good already. Xian lay lazily on the counter, not even bothering to lift its head, merely swaying its tail that was larger than its body. Yeah, every beginning is tough, Su-ran said with a smile. For any new shop without fame, it's generally the same. Once the shop's fame increases, we will start getting more and more customers. Chirp Tilda, is that so? 12 nodded thoughtfully, then sensing something, turned its gaze towards the shop's doorway with a hint of anticipation in its eyes. Chirp, a new customer is coming. As 12 finished speaking, 4 figures quickly stepped into the shop. Su-ran looked up, his gaze flickering slightly. These 4 men were sturdy and carried a somewhat fierce aura. They seemed like tough customers, probably quite strong. More importantly, Su-ran faintly felt some hostility emanating from these 4 men. Nevertheless, he still stood up and greeted them with a smile. Gentlemen, what services do you require? What services does your shop offer? The leader of the men asked in a deep voice. The price menu is just behind you, Su-ran said, raising a hand to indicate. The 4 men turned to look at the price menu, then exchanged glances with each other. Immediately after, the man on the left snorted disdainfully and stepped forward with an unpleasant expression, slapping his hand on the counter. Your prices are 2 to 3 times higher than elsewhere. It's clear extortion. Looking at the man, the smile on Su-ran's face gradually faded. Indeed, it seemed they had ill intentions. All the services offered by this shop are worth their price, he said calmly. If you 4 have come to cause trouble, please leave. Leave? Another man smirked. I think you're just embarrassed and enraged because you've been called out. He strode toward the shop's entrance, shouting loudly as he did. Today, I'm going to let everyone see what a swindler the owner of this black shop is. 3,000 more words, furiously typing away. For some reason, seeing this guy instantly brought back those feelings from before. Tang, let's get out of here, he tugged at Tang Mu, hurrying to leave the Starfair Foster Care Shop. Take care on your way out. Su-ran watched with a cheerful expression as the first few customers left the new shop, then stretched lazily. 12, hidden in the darkness, fluttered its wings and landed on Su-ran's shoulder, its sea-blue eyes brimming with mirth. Chirp Tilda, that beast master of the refining flame monkey, had his contract sensing open the whole time during the washing and protection Tilda. Huh, Su-ran blinked in surprise. Because of his unique washing and protection techniques, pet beasts that came to Starfair Foster for grooming often made strange sounds. Beast masters at the general level or above usually blocked the sharing of their senses during the grooming process to avoid embarrassing situations. Was there really a beast master who was so bold as to keep the contractual sensing open throughout the entire process? I think there are surveillance cameras in the shop. Su-ran smacked his forehead, suddenly remembering something, and began working at the counter. Soon, the footage from the washing and protection room appeared before his eyes. Watching Zhou Yang adopting odd postures in rhythm with his own washing and protection technique, Su-ran's expression grew, increasingly amused. This was really boldness to the extreme. Xuanxing City, Pingshan Foster Shop. As the most recognized foster service provider in Xuanxing City, the shop was frequented by a large number of customers every day. Every day, new foster care residents were admitted into Pingshan Foster Shop's foster area, and residents whose fostering period had ended left the place. Because business was so booming, Pingshan Foster even had to adopt a reservation system, using reasonable scheduling to stabilize the number of residents in the foster area. Today, a situation not usually seen occurred inside Pingshan Foster Shop. Boss, the employee responsible for foster reservations sought out Tan Xiao, the owner of Pingshan Foster's shop, with an unsightly expression. A customer who had a reservation to foster a pet beast today didn't show up. Didn't show up, Tan Xiao frowned and looked at the employee. Did you confirm by calling them? It's been confirmed, the employee nodded, and the reason for not showing up is that they chose to foster at another shop. We've been undercut, Tan Xiao's frown deepened. It was occasional for a reserved customer not to turn up. Perhaps due to some other factor, the customer might change their mind about fostering, which was within reasonable bounds. Chapter 693, 335. You have such nerve. Zhu Cheng, this newly emerged king-level beast master seems quite unfamiliar, must be from out of town. It's rare for a beast master to master martial arts. Chairman, come take a look at Qi Yuan. Seeing this message, a sly smile appeared on Qin Huiyu's lips. Attracted by the commotion in the group chat, the other 3 vice presidents also started to chime in, sharing their opinions after watching the video. In the end, Qi Yuan chimed in. Qi Yuan, looks interesting. Is it possible to get in touch with this person? I would like to exchange some martial arts knowledge with him. Success. Qin Huiyu was inwardly overjoyed and quickly sent a message. Qin Huiyu, the assessment for the Starlight Badge was under my charge, and I have this beast master's information. I'll handle this matter. The other 4 vice presidents didn't vie for this task at that time. After all, the awarding by President Starlight had always been Qin Huiyu's responsibility. It made sense for Qin Huiyu to handle this. The group chat quieted down quickly, and Qin Huiyu, humming a tune from a play, strode out of the office. The fish is about to take the bait. Ha tilde. Su Ran yawned and, resting her chin on her hand, watched the stream of pedestrians outside the shop. As noon approached, the street in front of the shop became busier. As a newly opened store, Starfair Foster's shop attracted quite a few curious passers-by, but these people did not turn into customers. After seeing the price menu, they didn't hesitate to turn around and leave. Hours into the opening, aside from the initial 2 customers, there had been no business. Chirp tilde, was it this difficult when opening other branches too? 12's claws gripped the branch decorations beside the counter as it asked. Meow tilde, having 2 customers in the morning is already quite good. Xian lay lazily on the counter, tail swinging, not bothering to lift his head, the tail almost larger than its body. Exactly, the beginning is always the hardest, Su Ran said with a smile. New shops with no fame always start off the same. When the shop's fame grows, the customers will start to increase as well. Chirp tilde, is that so? 12 nodded thoughtfully, then sensed something, looking expectantly towards the shop's entrance. Chirp, there's a new customer coming. As 12 finished speaking, 4 figures briskly entered the shop. Su Ran lifted her head, her gaze flickering slightly. Each of the 4 individuals was robust and carried a certain ferocity, not looking easy to provoke, likely quite strong. What's more important? Su Ran felt a hint of hostility coming from these men. Nevertheless, she still stood up and called out with a smile, Gentlemen, may I help you with any services? What services do you have in this shop? Asked the man leading in a deep voice. The price menu is right behind you, Su Ran gestured with one hand. The 4 turned to look at the price menu, then exchanged glances. Following that, the man on the left snorted disdainfully, stepped forward with a sneer, and slammed his hand on the counter. Your prices are 2 to 3 times higher than elsewhere. You're clearly swindling people. Observing the man, Su Ran's smile gradually faded. Indeed, it seemed trouble had come calling. All services of this shop are worth their price, she replied calmly. If the 4 of you have come to cause trouble, please leave. Leave? Another man chuckled. Looks to me like you're angry because you've been called out. He strode toward the shop's entrance, bellowing loudly as he went. Today, I'm going to let everyone see for themselves the kind of crook that runs a black shop. Chapter 694, 336, Clues to the Star Evolution Materials. Content incomplete. Please do not subscribe yet. Senior for the gift of swordsmanship. This junior is indebted and has no way to repay. Stowing the swordsmanship carefully in his bosom, Su Ran once again expressed his gratitude sincerely. It's a trifle, Qi Yuan smiled calmly. If you really feel uneasy about it, you can come and spar with me more often. Certainly, Su Ran replied without hesitation. Just one sparring session with Qi Yuan had given him many insights into the way of the sword, and now that he had acquired a new swordsmanship, Future sparring sessions with Qi Yuan could serve as confirmation for the swordplay. He was more than happy with such a good opportunity. Qi Yuan nodded slightly and then slowly began to speak. "Little Su, which city did you come from?" "Bright Radiant City," Su Ran smiled. He wasn't surprised that Qi Yuan could tell he wasn't local, but I'm not originally from Bright Radiant City. Traveling around and growing stronger. Qi Yuan nodded understandingly. That is indeed one of the paths for a beast master's growth. We hit it off at first sight, and since you're in Xuanxing City, if there's anything you need help with, feel free to come to me, Qi Yuan offered proactively. Through sparring with Su Ran, not only had he felt Su Ran's sword intent, but he also sensed the youth's vitality. Such a young king-level beast master, who also possessed an emperor species pet beast, certainly had limitless potential. Making a good connection was also the right thing to do. "Thank you for your kindness, Senior," Su Ran said with gratitude. "It so happens that I have a matter I need to consult about." "Speak freely." "It's like this," Su Ran said, gesturing for Star to come forward. "This is my second pet beast, and I'm readying it for evolution." "Oh, is this pet beast also going to evolve into an emperor species?" Qi Yuan couldn't help but take a few more glances at Star, with a look of astonishment on his face. It seemed that the young man before him was more extraordinary than he had thought. "Yes," Su Ran nodded, "its attribute is a bit special. Although it's a dark attribute, its attribute is mixed with some star power. Because of this uniqueness, I'm hoping that when it evolves into an emperor species, it will evolve in a direction that emphasizes star power." "Oh," Qi Yuan's eyes lit up. "Now, that's interesting. Are you aware of the attribute transition when evolving into the Holy Spirit race?" "I have looked into this," Su Ran nodded. "Good to know." Qi Yuan laughed. "If your pet beast evolves in this way, it will indeed increase the success rate of evolving into the Holy Spirit race in the future." "That's what I'm thinking too," Su Ran also laughed. "My coming to Xuanxing City is closely related to its evolution, and now there are two key evolution materials that I'm missing. If the senior could provide some clues, this junior would be endlessly grateful." "A trifle," Qi Yuan waved his hand. "The materials needed to evolve into an emperor species may not be available in our Xuanxing City, but clues are still within reach. I can still help a bit. Tell me, what are the two materials?" "One is called Town Star Stone, and the other is called Dawn Star Radiance." This, Qi Yuan's expression suddenly turned peculiar. "The materials you need are these two." "Does Senior have a clue?" Su Ran's eyes brightened. He had only tried his luck by asking, not expecting that there might actually be a lead. "If it's those two resources, I do know," said Qi Yuan, with a complex look on his face. "There's a Town Star Stone right here in Xuanxing City." Before Su Ran could get excited, Qi Yuan continued, "But I can't give it to you. Because the Town Star Stone of Xuanxing City is the foundation of the protective star array. Without it, there'd be no protective star array," Qi Yuan said, shaking his head regretfully. This, Su Ran looked astonished. In an instant, he discarded the idea of taking that particular Town Star Stone. While the evolution of Star was important, he could not bring himself to deprive a second-level town of its most critical security for the sake of a single evolution resource. Moreover, in terms of power, it was impossible for him to take such a resource from under the noses of several overlord-level beast masters. "Does Senior have knowledge of any other clues to Town Star Stones?" Su Ran hurriedly inquired. "I believe there should be more than just one, right?" "Town Star Stones are extremely precious resources," Qi Yuan pondered for a moment before slowly replying. "If you're looking for clues, I can help you look through some old documents. Within those documents, you should find the location where Xuanxing City's Town Star Stone was originally discovered. You could search around that location. There might be a discovery to be made." "Okay," Su Ran said gratefully. Despite the slim chance of another Town Star Stone appearing in the same location, having a clue was better than not having any. "As for the Dawn Star Radiance," Qi Yuan smiled, "I do have a definite clue about that resource. Not far from Xuanxing City, there lies a place known as Fallen Star Valley. The valley wasn't formed naturally but from a fallen meteor, which imbues it with rich star power and resulted in the formation of some very special resources. Our Xuanxing City was built here partly because of the Fallen Star Valley. Even the star stones are crafted from the ores mined within the valley. And within the deepest part of the Fallen Star Valley lies the Dawn Star Radiance you seek." However, Qi Yuan glanced at the excited Su Ran. Due to the particularity of the Fallen Star mountain range, it has attracted many powerful transcendent beings. There are even a couple that are half a step into the Overlord stage. Chapter 695, 336, Clues to the Star Evolution Materials. Chapter 696, 336, Clues to the Star Evolution Material. Sure, here's the translation. Such good fortune was more than welcome. Qi Yuan nodded slightly, then slowly asked, Little Su, which city do you come from? Bright Radiant City, Su Ran smiled, not surprised that Qi Yuan could tell he was not a local, but I'm not originally from Bright Radiant City either. Traveling around while getting stronger, eh? Qi Yuan nodded in understanding. Indeed, this is one of the ways for a beast master to grow. Since we've hit it off so well, if there's anything you need help with now that you're in Chuangsing City, feel free to come to me, Qi Yuan offered proactively. In their sparring, he had not only felt Su Ran's blade aura, but also sensed the youth's vitality. Such a young king-level beast master already possessed an emperor species pet beast. His future was boundless. Forming a good connection was only right and proper. Thank you for your kindness, Su Ran said gratefully with a smile. As it happens, there's something I'd like to ask about. By all means, speak your mind. It's like this. Su Ran gestured for Star to step forward. This is my second pet beast, and I am preparing for its evolution. Oh, is this pet beast also evolving into an emperor species? Qi Yuan couldn't help but take a few more glances at Star, his expression filled with amazement. It seemed the youngster before him was more exceptional than he had imagined. Yes, Su Ran nodded. Its attribute is somewhat special. Although it's a dark attribute, there's some star power mixed into it. Because of this specialty, I hope that, when it evolves into an emperor species, it will evolve towards a direction that focuses more on star power. Oh, Qi Yuan's eyes brightened slightly. Now, that's quite interesting. Do you know about the attribute transition involved in evolving into a Holy Spirit race? I have looked into that, Su Ran nodded. That's good, Qi Yuan chuckled. If your pet beast evolves in that way, the success rate of later evolving into the Holy Spirit race can be much higher. I was thinking the same thing, Su Ran chuckled too. My coming to Chuangsing City is not unrelated to its evolution, and right now, I'm still missing two very important evolution materials. If Senior can provide some clues, I would be extremely grateful. It's a trifle, Qi Yuan waved his hand dismissively. The materials required for evolving into an emperor species might not necessarily be here in Chuangsing City, but if it's just a clue you're after, I can still offer some help. Quickly, what are the two materials you are looking for? One is called Town Star Stone, and the other is Dawn Star Radiance. This, Qi Yuan's expression suddenly became complicated. The materials you need are these two. Senior has a clue. Su Ran's eyes brightened. He was just trying his luck with the question, not expecting there to be a lead. If it's these two resources, then I do indeed know. Qi Yuan's expression was somewhat complex. There is a piece of Town Star Stone right here in Chuangsing City. Before Su Ran could get excited, Qi Yuan quickly added, but I can't give it to you. Because this piece of Town Star Stone in Chuangsing City is the foundation of the city's protective star array, Qi Yuan said helplessly, shaking his head. Without it, there is no protective star array. This, Su Ran looked stunned. In a split second, he dismissed the idea of taking that piece of Town Star Stone. Although the evolution of Star was important, he could not commit to an action that would leave a second-level town without its most important safety guarantee for the sake of just one evolution resource. And in terms of strength, it was impossible for him to take such a resource right under the noses of several Overlord-level beast masters. Does Senior have any other clues about Town Star Stones? Su Ran quickly asked. I believe that such resources should not be limited to just one, right? Town Star Stones are extremely precious resources. Qi Yuan pondered for a moment before slowly speaking. If you want clues, I can help you check some ancient texts. Within the records, we should be able to find the original location where the Town Star Stone in Chuangsing City was discovered. You could search in that location. Perhaps you'll find something. Thank you, Su Ran expressed his gratitude. Although the probability of a second Town Star Stone appearing at the same location was slim, having a clue was always better than none. As for Dawn Star Radiance, Qi Yuan smiled, I do know a precise clue for that resource. Not far outside of our Chuangsing City, there is a place called Fallen Star Valley. The valley wasn't formed naturally, but was created by a fallen meteor from beyond the skies, containing rich star power, and it also gave rise to some extremely unique resources. Our Chuangsing city was built here largely due to fallen Star Valley, and even the star stones are produced by mining the ores within it. At the deepest part of fallen Star Valley lies the dawn star radiance you seek. However, Qi Yuan looked at Su Ran, who had become visibly excited, and added, due to the special nature of Fallen Star Mountain Range, it has attracted many powerful transcendent beings. There are even two nearly at the Overlord stage. They are much more powerful than the average King stage, and should be comparable in strength to your pet beast that has already evolved into an Emperor species. Defeating them won't be an easy feat, Qi Yuan said with a smile. Fallen Star Mountain Range. Su Ran etched this name deeply into his mind. Thank you, Senior, for the clue. It's a trifle, Qi Yuan smiled again. Is there anything else I can help you with? There's one more thing, Su Ran said with an embarrassed smile. I have a friend who runs a foster shop here in Chuangsing City. Chapter 697, 336, Clues to the Star Evolution Materials. Star let out a whinny, quickening its pace even more. If everything went as expected, the Dawn Star Radiance would soon be within reach. Then only the Town Star Stone would be left to find. With the lessons learned by Xian in searching for the extinct thunder attraction, Star had braced itself to spend extra time and effort to seek out this most crucial evolution resource. Soon, one person accompanied by 5 pet beasts arrived at the storefront. Seeing the figure standing outside the door, Su Ran's face showed a hint of surprise. Boss Liu, what brings you here? The employee in front of him held a special role at the Wind and Cloud Foster Care Shop. He was responsible for collecting information on his peers within Chuangsing City, ensuring Liu Fengyun had a detailed insight into the business dynamics of his competition. The marketplace is a battlefield. Head-down management of his own storefront was not Liu Fengyun's style. A customer from the Pingshan Foster shop got snatched by someone else, the employee chuckled. After the snatching, Pingshan got some thugs to cause trouble at the other shop. We could team up with the victim, expose Pingshan Foster shop's actions, and as a result, their reputation would surely take a hit, the employee suggested. It's a good idea, Liu Fengyun nodded slightly. Tan Xiao, that guy, is still as eager as ever to play dirty tricks. What's the name of the shop that outsmarted Pingshan? Liu Fengyun asked offhandedly. If they could outsmart Pingshan, they must be something special, right? I didn't find out much about that shop, the employee scratched his head. I only know it's new and its name is Starfair. Starfair Foster Care Shop. Liu Fengyun suddenly looked up. Yes, the employee's expression was one of surprise. Boss, you know of it. Heh, so it's Boss Su, Liu Fengyun smiled. If it's him, then outsmarting Pingshan makes sense. Let this matter be, Liu Fengyun gestured dismissively. Tan Xiao is definitely no match for Boss Su. Does this mean the owner of this Starfair Foster Care Shop is really impressive? Asked the employee with a shocked expression. Until then, he hadn't paid much attention to the plight of the victimized party. But it seemed that Boss Liu viewed this Starfair Foster Care Shop with a sense of significance. You'll find out in time, Liu Fengyun smiled. Go be busy. Okay, the employee spoke reluctantly and then turned to leave. Watching the employee's retreating figure, Liu Fengyun's face bore a smile. To get a shop up and running in one night, Boss Su sure is decisive and efficient. As an old friend, I should pay him a visit to congratulate him on the new store's opening, he mused. With that, he stepped out of the store and headed in the direction of the Starfair Foster Care Shop. After expressing his gratitude to Qi Yuan several times over, Su Ran returned to the store with his 5 little ones. On the way back, Star's strides were noticeably larger than before, filled with a sprightly air. It was apparent that having some clues about both resources had excited it. After we close the shop tonight, we'll take a trip to the Fallen Star Valley, Su Ran said, patting Star's head and speaking with a smile. Meow tilde, those two at the quasi-domineering level, I'll take care of them. Xian licked its paws, eyes ablaze with fighting spirit. Despite what Qi Yuan had said about quasi-domineering level beasts being on par with it, Xian thought he had no idea of its real strength. As 2 creatures who hadn't reached the Overlord stage tilde. Xilu tilde, thank you, Xian. Star let out a whinny, quickening its pace even more. If everything went as expected, the Dawn Star Radiance would soon be within reach. Then only the Town Star Stone would be left to find. With the lessons learned by Xian in searching for the extinct thunder attraction, Star had braced itself to spend extra time and effort to seek out this most crucial evolution resource. Soon, one person accompanied by 5 pet beasts arrived at the storefront. Seeing the figure standing outside the door, Su Ran's face showed a hint of surprise. "Boss Liu, what brings you here?" Chapter 698-337, Xian Takes Action, Dawn Star Radiance. This content is incomplete. Please do not subscribe. Normal updates will resume tomorrow. We've arrived. Under the night sky, Su Ran with his 4 little ones, rode the star at lightning speed and soon reached the destination. Before them lay a valley with a somewhat strange shape. Unlike common valleys, the valley's edge had layered and complex terrain formed by overlapping rocks, but the interior was a large depression, like the bottom of a pot. Under the cover of darkness, the rocks in the valley shimmered faintly, as if containing the power of the stars, and this light grew more intense the closer it was to the center of the valley. This was their destination, Fallen Star Valley. Tilda, standing at the edge of the valley, Su Ran casually broke off a piece of rock and examined it. Unlike ordinary rocks, this small piece occasionally twinkled and had strange, colorful patterns like a special ore, looking extremely pretty. Can lifted a paw to touch the rock, then its expression turned more surprised. Tilda, this rock contains not only earth attribute power but also other powers. Xilu, its star power. The star whinnied, sensing a trace of familiar power within the rock. As a pet beast with no earth attribute, such a situation should not exist. All because the rock contained star power. It was this faint star power that made it feel an affinity. Xilu Tilda, here, the effects of my prayer of starry night can be enhanced by more than 30%. After feeling the rich star power around, Star's voice grew excited. No matter how numerous the stars above, where could be easier than the star power on the ground to absorb and utilize? Elder Qi Yuan mentioned the formation of Fallen Star Valley was related to the meteorites from outer space, said Su Ran, toying with the rock in his hand, smiling. It seems the star power from the meteorites has gradually been absorbed by the surrounding rocks. Let's go inside and have a look. Su Ran looked towards the deeper parts of Fallen Star Valley, his eyes gleaming brightly. What a great place this was! One man with his 5 pet beasts rapidly crossed the rocky terrain on the periphery of Fallen Star Valley and entered the valley. The valley was surrounded by slopes on all sides, leading to the deepest point of the valley. Over a long period of erosion, the slopes were no longer smooth, with undulations and ancient gullies, but the overall trend had not changed. It was like a giant pot set into the earth, gathering the light of the stars. Upon entering, Su Ran's expression grew more cautious, for he had already felt an unfriendly gaze lurking in the dark. Unlike the valley exterior, transcendent beings had settled here. Swoosh! A sharp sound of cutting through the air shattered the night silence and swiftly attacked the man and his 5 beasts. It was a feather, which stabbed directly into a rock in front of Su Ran, turning it to dust in an instant. This was a threat as well as a warning. But faced with such a threat, Su Ran didn't care. He turned his head to look at Star. How many? The eyes of Star, once like purple crystals, had turned pitch black, and within them black chains intertwined and wound around, looking extremely mysterious. 3-star skill halo level, night inspection. Xilu Tilda, hundreds with the highest at the leadership stage. The star whinnied, accurately reporting the number and strength of nearby beings. Just at the leadership stage, Su Ran raised an eyebrow. 12. Ju Tilda, leave it to me. 12 spoke excitedly, then spread its wings and soared into the sky. Its bright sea-blue eyes gazed down below, like 2 glowing sapphires against the dark curtain of the night. An invisible force emanated from its center, sweeping the area in an instant. Amidst faint sounds of bodies hitting the ground and falling, all creatures hidden in the darkness instantly entered the realm of slumber. 3-star skill waning moon level, endless sleep. For 12 at the general stage, using this skill on a group of creatures at most the leadership stage was enough to put them to sleep for several hours. At this moment, the skill allowed the man and his 5 beasts to penetrate deeper into the valley without alerting anyone. Well done! Catching 12 as it returned, Su Ran praised satisfactorily and then proceeded further. Group after group of transcendent beings were subjected to forced sleep by 12, and Su Ran along with his 5 little ones ventured deeper into Fallen Star Valley. The starlight twinkling in the night around them grew ever more brilliant, and the star power became increasingly rich. The strength of the transcendent beings had risen from the leadership stage to the general stage. At this level, 12 could no longer put them to sleep for an extended time. Sensing the intruders in the valley, powerful auras erupted, speeding towards the man and his 5 beasts, and soon appeared around them, entirely blocking all their retreat paths. An eerie silence fell over the scene, yet beneath this quiet there was a current of strong killing intent. The transcendent beings who inhabited this place, there would be no goodwill towards the humans that appeared here. I've come for a dawn star radiance. Even surrounded by the creatures, Su-Ran remained calm and spoke with a smile. Give it to me, and I'll leave immediately. We've arrived. Under the night sky, Su-Ran, with his 4 little ones, rode the star at lightning speed and soon reached the destination. Before them lay a valley with a somewhat strange shape. Chapter 699, 337. Xian takes action, Dawn Star Radiance. Unlike ordinary valleys, the outer edges of this valley were lined with layers of complex terrain and rocky outcrops, but the interior as a whole was concave, resembling the bottom of a massive pot. Under the night sky, the rocks within the valley emitted a faint glow, as if containing the power of stars, and this luminosity grew more intense as one drew closer to the heart of the valley. This was the place they were searching for, the Fallen Star Valley. Tilda, standing on the outskirts of the valley, Su-Ran casually broke off a piece of rock to examine. Unlike rocks from the outside world, this small piece occasionally twinkled with a faint light and had peculiar colorful patterns on it, almost like a special ore, making it look very attractive. Can raised its paw to touch the rock, and then its expression turned somewhat surprised. Tilda, this rock contains not only earth attribute power but also other forces. Xilu, its star power. Star uttered a neigh. Within the rock, it sensed a power that felt familiar. As a non-earth attribute pet beast, this should not have been possible. Everything was due to the star power contained within the stones. It was this faint hint of star power that evoked a sense of closeness. Xilu, here, I can enhance the effect of the prayer of starry night by more than 30%. Feeling the dense star power in the surroundings, Star's voice grew excited. No matter how many stars there are in the sky, where could they be more easily absorbed and utilized than the star power on the ground? Elder Qi Yuan once said that the formation of the Fallen Star Valley is related to a meteorite from beyond the skies. Su-Ran said, while playing with the rock in his hand, smiling. It must be the star power within the meteorite that was gradually absorbed by the surrounding rocks. Let's take a look inside. Su-Ran looked towards the deeper parts of the Fallen Star Valley, his eyes shining with brightness. This is a great place. The group of 1 man and 5 pet beasts quickly moved through the rocky outskirts of the Fallen Star Valley to enter the valley proper. The terrain inside the valley sloped downward on all sides, leading directly to the deepest part of the valley. These slopes, washed over by the long passage of time, were no longer smooth, taking on undulations and ravines that told of their ancient past. Yet the overall downward trend remained unchanged, like a giant cauldron embedded into the earth, channeling the light of the stars. Upon stepping inside, Su-Ran's expression grew more cautious, for he could already sense the unfriendly gazes lurking in the shadows. Unlike the outside of the valley, this place was already inhabited by transcendent beings. Swoosh! A sharp whooshing sound tore through the tranquil night, swiftly attacking the group. It was a feather that struck a rock directly in front of Su-Ran, turning the rock into powder in an instant. This was a threat as well as a warning. But faced with this threat, Su-Ran was unconcerned. He turned his head to look at Star. How many? Star's amethyst-like eyes had unknowingly become pitch black, with black chains intertwined within, adding an air of mystery. 3-star skill, Halo-level night inspection. Xilu, hundreds, with the highest only at leadership stage. Star neighed, accurately reporting the number and strength of nearby creatures. Only leadership stage. Su-Ran raised an eyebrow. 12. Chirp, leave it to me. 12 spoke eagerly, then spread its wings and soared into the sky. Its bright, sea-blue eyes gazed down below, shining like 2 glowing sapphires amidst the dark canvas of the night. An invisible force radiated out from it as the center, sweeping through the surroundings instantly. Along with the soft sounds of bodies falling to the ground in collapse, all living creatures hidden in the shadows were cast into slumber in an instant. 3-star skill, waning moon level endless sleep. 10 at general level could easily put a group of beings at the highest leadership stage to sleep for several hours. At this moment, this skill allowed the group, stealthy and undetected, to penetrate deeper without stirring the wildlife. Well done, Su-Ran praised as he caught 12 returning to his hand, and then they continued onwards. Batch after batch of transcendent beings were put to forced sleep by 12, as Su-Ran and the 5 pet beasts ventured deeper into the heart of Fallen Star Valley. The starlight that twinkled under the night sky became more resplendent, and the star power grew richer. The strength of the transcendent beings evolved from the previous leadership stage to the general stage. Against creatures of this caliber, 12 could no longer keep them asleep for long. Sensing intruders within the valley, powerful presences surged to the skies, hurtling towards the group at rapid speed. They soon appeared from all directions, sealing off all escape routes thoroughly. The setting fell into an eerie silence, but beneath this quietude surged a torrent of murderous intent. The transcendent beings entrenched here naturally harbored no good, while towards the humans who had ventured into their territory. "I am here for a piece of dawn star radiance," Su-Ran said calmly, his voice steady even amidst the encirclement of creatures. "Give it to me, and I will leave immediately." Under the veil of night, Su-Ran and his 4 pet beasts rode upon Star, lightning fast, and quickly arrived at their destination. Before them was a valley with strangely shaped contours. Unlike ordinary valleys, the outer edges of this valley were lined with layers of complex terrain and rocky outcrops, but the interior as a whole was concave, resembling the bottom of a massive pot. Under the night sky, the rocks within the valley emitted a faint glow, as if containing the power of stars, and this luminosity grew more intense as one drew closer to the heart of the valley. Chapter 700-337, Xian Takes Action, Dawn Star Radiance. Chapter 701-337, Xian Takes Action, Dawn Star Radiance. Chapter 702-338, Clues of the Town Star Stone and the Evolution of Fireflies. "Is this the Dawn Star Radiance?" Su-Ran stepped forward quickly, carefully picking up the gem that shimmered with dazzling light, a look of surprise appearing on his face. "Such rich power." "Xilu Tilda, let me see." Star couldn't help but get close to Su-Ran, hanging its head low to stare intently at the evolution material that had just arrived. Under the starlight, its amethyst-like eyes also became bright. Feeling the rich star power within, Star felt as comfortable as if it were in a hot spring. Without a doubt for it, this resource was a great supplement. "Here, take it and keep it safe." Su-Ran took out a pendant and secured the Dawn Star Radiance on it before hanging it around Star's neck. Then he turned to look at the Black Lion Beast King standing beside him with palpable trepidation. "I have a question for you. Why didn't those 2 at the quasi-dominant level use this resource?" Upon hearing this question, the Black Lion Beast King was silent for a moment. "Because this resource cannot be absorbed." Su-Ran's eyes sharpened. The Dawn Star Radiance couldn't be absorbed. With limited knowledge about this resource, Su-Ran became more curious upon hearing the Black Lion Beast King saying this. "Can you explain in detail?" This resource appeared at the very center of Falling Star Valley when Fallen Thunder Valley formed. A hint of reminiscence appeared in the eyes of the Black Lion Beast King. Starry Sky Mother researched it the most and believed it to be the core of a fallen star. When the meteor struck the Earth, its outer layers shattered and dissipated, exposing it. The core of a meteor. Su-Ran couldn't help but give the pendant around Star's neck a few more glances. Unexpectedly, this Dawn Star Radiance had quite the background. "Yes," said the Black Lion Beast King slowly. "It is extremely sturdy, so sturdy that even the combined efforts of the 2 quasi-dominants were unable to destroy it. It contains powerful energy, but that energy couldn't be absorbed by the overlords. Starry Sky Mother had once tried to use it as evolution material in a crucial step to become an emperor species but failed. Meanwhile, the resource remained entirely intact. Since then, the resource has been placed within this cavern." "That difficult?" Su-Ran couldn't help but be taken aback by the words of the Black Lion Beast King, "but it seems quite absorbable to me." "How could that be?" The Black Lion Beast King instinctively looked towards Star and then abruptly froze in place. Because the Dawn Star Radiance hanging around Star's neck was now flickering and gradually releasing its energy into Star's body. The Black Lion Beast King couldn't help but widen his eyes, now even more shocked than when Xian had killed Starry Sky Mother. For hundreds of years since the appearance of the dawn star radiance, no creature had been able to absorb its power. Never would it have imagined that it would be broken by the creature in front of it. After a long silence, a look of respect appeared in the eyes of the Black Lion Beast King. Perhaps this resource has found its true owner. Having obtained the dawn star radiance, Suran left Fallen Star Valley immediately with the 5 little transcendent beings that were not trembling in fear like the others. On the road back to the city, Star's steps were especially light. With this resource, the only evolution material it lacked was now down to the last one. Town Star Stone. As for how to obtain the Town Star Stone, that was a matter for future consideration. With the eye-catching dawn star radiance around its neck, Star couldn't even maintain its stealth perfectly. It was like a beacon in the night, attracting countless envious gazes. However, when Xian once again displayed the imperial crown, those gazes disappeared in an instant. Emperor species, indeed formidable. Before long, a man and 5 creatures returned to the storefront inside Chuangsing City. Only lying on the soft bed did they feel a sense of peace. Ding dong! A notification sound from a cell phone rang out at that moment. Suran picked up his phone to see a new unread message. The sender of the message was Qi Yuan. After a quick glance at the content of the message, a look of delight appeared on Suran's face. Star, there's news about the Town Star Stone. Xilu, really? Still basking in the joy of acquiring the Dawn Star radiance, Star abruptly lifted its head, eyes bursting with astonishing light. You remember what Elder Qi Yuan said when we visited him this afternoon? Su-Ran shook his phone with a smile. Chuangsing City's protective star array cannot be destroyed, so this Town Star Stone can't be obtained, but Elder Qi Yuan has helped us pinpoint the location of this Town Star Stone. If we go to the place where the Town Star Stones are produced, we will surely find some clues about the Town Star Stones, or if we are lucky, it's not impossible to find another one, Su-Ran said with a smile. Elder Qi Yuan has sent over the address. Xilu, where is it? Star's eyes were full of anticipation. It was eager to set out immediately, heading for the site where the Town Star Stones were produced. It's a place called Silent Abyss, Su-Ran said as he carefully checked the information. Qi Yuan is really considerate, even attaching a map in the attachment. Let me look, After seeing the location marked on the map, Su-Ran's eyes involuntarily widened. What a coincidence. What's the matter? Kan, who was nearby, couldn't help but ask. The name Silent Abyss ignited its spirit of adventure instantly. It sounded like a fascinating place. This place is very close to Poison Flame Valley. Su-Ran started with a grin. Poison Flame Valley is where I chose for Firefly to evolve. Chapter 703, 338 Clues of the Town Star Stone and the Evolution of Fireflies. Luhu, is that the place? The Firefly, who had thought it had nothing much to do with itself, suddenly lit up in the eyes. What a coincidence. Indeed, quite a coincidence, Su-Ran nodded. This time, by taking a long trip, we can both explore the clues of the Town Star Stone and help the Firefly complete its evolution. Xilu Tilda, that's great. Star nodded with joy. Jiu, so when do we set off? 12 tilted its head, its eyes filled with a hint of interest. Whether it was the Firefly's evolution or the clues of the Town Star Stone, it was very interested. As for that, Su-Ran showed a thoughtful expression, then made a decision after a moment. Let's wait until the foster care exhibition ends, then we'll depart. Counting the time, the foster care exhibition will be held in 3 days. By then, we would have also stabilized our foothold in Chuangsing City. Su-Ran paused for a moment, looking towards the Firefly. The Firefly has been preparing for evolution during this time, right? Luhu, correct. The Firefly nodded vigorously. In the previous resource allocation, all of its skills had been improved to the waning moon level, and the 3-star skill, Eternal Burning Flame, raised by Undying Flame, had even reached the full moon level. But that wasn't enough. In its exchanges with the 4 seniors, the Firefly learned that the higher the proficiency of the talent skills at the time of evolution, the more help it would be for the evolution. During 12's evolution, it had 2 skills reach the full moon level, whereas its own evolution conditions didn't require raising the proficiency to the full moon level. Compared to that, the preparations it had just enough to meet the evolution conditions were indeed insufficient. As a mutant species, there was always a trace of fear and trepidation about evolution in the Firefly's heart. Therefore, it wanted to prepare even more. At the very least, it also wanted to have 3 skills reach the full moon level. Time and again, seeing the great strength of the 4 seniors, it would be lying to say it wasn't envious. Therefore, it must give its all to complete this evolution. With this in mind, the firefly couldn't help but clench its claws. It needed to train even harder. Keep it up. Su-Ran smiled and patted the firefly's head, then looked toward Star. These next few days, familiarize yourself with the Dawn Star Radiance's power. Being able to absorb this resource might be due to your better talent. Your inherent power also has many connections with star power. Su-Ran paused. This is a good thing. Getting familiar with the power in advance can make the evolution smoother. Xilu Tilda, I understand. Star nodded. Xian suddenly remembered something and asked curiously. Meow, has the lucky fish of Chuangsing City appeared yet? The lucky fish? Su-Ran touched his chin and shook his head helplessly. Not yet. On the first day of business, Su-Ran also received 6 or 7 customers, but none of these customers displayed any characteristics similar to that of a lucky fish. Therefore, Su-Ran wasn't sure whether there was a lucky fish in Chuangsing City. No worries, if there's still no lucky fish in half a month, I can go back to Bright Radiant City and bask in Miss Chu Yue's lucky fish aura, Su-Ran smiled. Or I could try my luck in Kingju City or Cloud City. All right, go and train now. Su-Ran sat upright from the bed, took a meditative posture, and soon entered deep meditation under the combined effects of 2 meditation acceleration cards. Watching Su-Ran working hard to improve, the 5 little ones exchanged glances before confidently heading to their respective attributes training area. A night without words, only intense effort. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. Just as Liu Fengyun had predicted, after the first attempt at sabotage, the Pingshan foster shop ceased to send people over. Starfair Foster Care Shop entered a peaceful development stage, and within just 4 days with excellent service, it gained a very good reputation in the nearby blocks and had already become somewhat famous. Stably receiving a dozen or 20 customers daily, the business of Starfair Foster Care Shop was now truly on track. The fame of Starfair Foster Care Shop continued to rise steadily, and although it was only around 3% at the moment, it was already a good start. On this day, as Starfair Foster Care Shop just opened for business, it welcomed a special visitor. He was in uniform, representing the organizers of the Beast Master Association Pet Beast Foster Care Exhibition. Excuse me, is this Mr. Su-Ran, the owner of Starfair Foster? The staff member entered the shop and got straight to the point. Indeed, that's me. Su-Ran's eyes lit up, guessing the visitor's purpose, and quickly stepped forward. Has the foster care exhibition started? 4000 more words, working hard at it. So this is the Dawn Star Radiance. Su-Ran quickly advanced, gingerly picking up the gem that glittered with dazzling light, his face showing a look of surprise. Such a rich power. Xilu Tilda, let me see. Star couldn't resist coming close to Su-Ran, lowering its head to gaze intently at the newly acquired evolution material. Under the starlight, its eyes, akin to purple crystals, became even brighter. Feeling the rich star power within, Star had the comfortable sensation of being in a hot spring. Without a doubt, this resource was hugely beneficial to it. Here, take it and keep it safe. Su-Ran took out a pendant, fastened on Star Radiance securely, and hung it around Star's neck. He then turned to the Black Lion Beast King, who was standing by skittishly. I have a question for you. Chapter 704, 338 Clues of the Town Star Stone and the Evolution of Fireflies. Why didn't those 2 quasi-domineering level beings use this resource? Upon hearing this question, the Black Lion Beast King fell silent for a moment. Because this resource cannot be absorbed. Su-Ran's gaze sharpened. The Dawn Star Radiance can't be absorbed. With limited knowledge about this resource, Su-Ran, now hearing what the Black Lion Beast King said, grew even more curious. Could you elaborate? This resource appeared in the very center of Fallen Star Valley when Fallen Thunder Valley was formed. The Black Lion Beast King recalled with a hint of reminiscence in his eyes. The Starry Sky Mother studied it the most and believed it to be the core of a fallen star. The star struck the earth, its outer layers completely shattered and dissipated, exposing it. The core of a fallen star. Su-Ran couldn't help but give the pendant hanging around Star's neck a few more glances. It didn't look it, but this Dawn Star Radiance actually had an impressive origin. Yes, The Black Lion Beast King slowly began. It's extremely sturdy, so much so that even when two quasi-domineering level beings joined forces, they couldn't destroy it. It contains a powerful force within, but this force cannot be absorbed by either of the overlords. The Starry Sky Mother once tried to use it as evolution material to take the critical step toward becoming an emperor species, but ultimately failed, and the resource remained unscathed. Since then, this resource has been left within these caverns. That difficult? Su-Ran couldn't help but click his tongue upon hearing the Black Lion Beast King's words, but it seems quite absorbable to me. How could that be? The Black Lion Beast King instinctively glanced in Star's direction, then suddenly froze in place. Because the Dawn Star radiance hanging around Star's neck was, at that moment, twinkling as it gradually released its energy, transmitting it into Star's body. The Black Lion Beast King couldn't help but widen his eyes, his shock even surpassing that of Xian killing the Starry Sky Mother. The Dawn Star radiance had been around for hundreds of years, with no creature ever able to absorb its power. It was unimaginable that it would make an exception for the being before them. After a long silence, the Black Lion Beast King's eyes filled with a hint of admiration. Perhaps this resource has found its true master. Having obtained the Dawn Star radiance, Su-Ran, along with the 5 smaller transcendent beings who were not shaking in terror as usual, left Fallen Star Valley immediately. On the way back to the city, Star's steps were unusually light. With this resource acquired, only one last piece of evolution material was missing: the Town Star Stone. As for how to obtain the Town Star Stone, that was a matter for further consideration. With the eye-catching Dawn Star radiance hanging on Star, it couldn't maintain its concealment perfectly, shining like a beacon in the night and drawing covetous gazes. However, when Xian once again displayed the imperial crown, those glances instantly vanished. The emperor species was not to be trifled with. Before long, Su-Ran and his 5 pets returned to their shop in Chuangsing City. It was only when they lay on the comfortable big bed that they felt a semblance of peace. Ding-dong! A smartphone notification sounded at that moment. Su-Ran picked up his phone and saw an unread message. The sender of the message was Qi Yuan. After a glance at the message, Su-Ran's face lit up with surprise. "Star, there's news about the Town Star Stone." "Xilu, really?" Star, still basking in the joy of acquiring the Dawn Star radiance, abruptly lifted its head, eyes bursting with an astonishing light. "Do you remember when we visited Elder Qi Yuan at noon, what he said?" Su-Ran shook his phone with a smile. "Chuangsing City's protective star array can't be destroyed, so the Town Star Stone there cannot be obtained, but Elder Qi Yuan helped us find the location of another Town Star Stone." Su-Ran chuckled. "Elder Qi Yuan sent the address over." "Xilu, where is it?" Star was full of anticipation. It couldn't wait to set off, heading straight for the place where the Town Star Stone was produced. "It's a place called the Silent Abyss," Su-Ran checked carefully. "Elder Qi Yuan is so considerate, he even attached a map in the attachment." "Let me see, huh?" After seeing the location marked on the map, Su-Ran's eyes involuntarily widened. What a coincidence. "Huh, what's up?" Kan couldn't help but ask. Upon hearing the name Silent Abyss, its adventurous spirit instantly flared up. It sounded like a fascinating place. "This place is very close to Poison Flame Valley," Su-Ran said with a grin. "Poison Flame Valley is where I've chosen for Firefly to evolve." "Lu Ho, is that so?" Firefly, who originally thought this had little to do with itself, suddenly lit up. "What a coincidence." "Indeed, quite the coincidence," Su-Ran nodded with a smile. "In this way, with one trip, we can seek clues about the Town Star Stone and help Firefly evolve." "Xilu Tilda, that's great." Star nodded joyously. "Jill, so when do we leave?" 12 tilted its head to the side, its eyes also filled with interest. Whether it was Firefly's evolution or clues about the Town Star Stone, it was very keen to know. "About that," Su-Ran's face took on a contemplative expression. After a moment he made up his mind. "Well, how about this? Once the pet fostering exhibition is over, we'll set off." Chapter 705. 338 Clues of the Town Star Stone and the Evolution of Fireflies. Looking at the time, the Foster Experience exhibition is just 3 days away. "By then, we should also have gained a foothold in Chuangsing City," said Su-Ran, pausing briefly before looking at Firefly. "Firefly, have you been preparing for evolution all this time?" "Luhu, yes." Firefly nodded emphatically. During the last resource allocation, its skills had all been raised to the waning moon level. The 3-star skill, Eternal Burning Flame, enhanced by the Undying Flame, had been raised to the full moon level. But this was still not enough. In its interactions with the 4 seniors, Firefly had learned that the higher the proficiency of talent skills during evolution, the better it would aid the process. When 12th evolved, it had 2 skills that reached the full moon level, yet its evolution conditions did not require skill proficiency to be raised to the full moon level. By comparison, Firefly's mere meeting of the evolution conditions was far from enough. As a mutated species, Firefly always harbored a trace of fear and trepidation towards evolution, which is why it wanted to prepare even more. At the very least, it needed 3 skills to reach the full moon level. After witnessing the 4 seniors' display of strength time after time, it would be a lie to say Firefly wasn't envious. That's why it had to give its all to complete this evolution. With this thought, Firefly couldn't help but clench its claws tightly. It needed to train even harder. "Keep it up," Suran said with a smile as he patted Firefly on the head, then turned to Star. "These next few days, you should familiarize yourself with the power of Dawn Star Radiance. Being able to absorb this resource may be due to your better talent and inherent powers, many connections with star power." Suran paused. "This is a good thing. Getting to know the power in advance will make the evolution go more smoothly." "Zylu Tilda, I understand." Star nodded. Xian suddenly remembered something and asked curiously, "Meow, has the lucky fish of Chuangsing City shown up yet?" "Lucky fish?" Suran stroked his chin and shook his head helplessly. "Not yet." During the first day of business, Suran had served 6 or 7 guests, but none of them displayed characteristics like the lucky fish. Thus, Suran was uncertain whether Chuangsing City had a lucky fish. "No matter, if we still haven't found a lucky fish half a month later, I'll just take a trip back to Bright Radiant City and mooch off Miss Chu Yue's lucky fish aura," Suran said with a laugh. "Otherwise, going to Kingju City or Xian City to rub off some of their luck is also an option." "All right, you guys go and train," Suran said as he sat up straight on the bed, adopting a meditation posture, and quickly entered a deep meditation under the combined effect of 2 meditation acceleration cards. Watching the industrious Suran, the 5 little ones exchanged glances before heading to their respective attribute training areas, as if it was second nature. A night passed without a word, save for the relentless grinding. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. Just as Liu Fengyun had predicted, after their first attempt at sabotage, the Pingshan foster shop did not send anyone else to cause trouble. The Starfair foster care shop entered a peaceful development stage, and within just 4 short days, it had earned a great reputation with excellent service and was already somewhat famous in the nearby blocks. Every day, a stable stream of 15 to 20 customers visited, and the business of the Starfair foster shop had thoroughly gotten on the right track. Meanwhile, the fame of the Starfair foster shop continued to rise. Although it was only around 3% at the moment, it was a promising start. On this day, just as the Starfair foster shop had begun its business, it welcomed a special guest. It was dressed in a uniform, representing the organizer of the Beast Master Association's Pet Beast Foster Experience exhibition. "May I ask if Mr. Suran, the owner of Starfair Foster, is present?" The staff member entered the shop and got straight to the point. "That's right, it's me." Suran's eyes lit up as he guessed the visitor's purpose and quickly approached. "Has the Foster Experience exhibition started?" 4,000 words to go, liver busting in progress, Luru. "Yes." Firefly nodded vigorously. In the last resource allocation, all its skills had been upgraded to waning moon level, and the 3-star skill Eternal Burning Flame, enhanced by Undying Flame, had even reached full moon level. But this was still not enough. In its exchanges with the 4 seniors, Firefly learned that the higher the proficiency of talent skills at the time of evolution, the greater the help for the evolution. During its evolution, number 12 had 2 skills that reached full moon level, whereas its own evolution conditions did not require skill proficiency to be elevated to full moon level. By comparison, just meeting the bare minimum for the evolution conditions was far from sufficient. As a member of a mutated species, Firefly always harbored a trace of fear and apprehension about evolution, so it wanted to prepare even more. At the very least, it wanted to get 3 skills to full moon level. Every time it saw the 4 seniors demonstrate their formidable strength, It would be lying if it said it didn't envy them. So it had to give its all to complete this evolution. Thinking of this, Firefly couldn't help but clench its claws. It needed to train even harder. "Keep it up," Su-Ran said with a smile as he stroked Firefly's head before looking at Star. "For the next few days, you should familiarize yourself with the power of Dawn Star Radiance. You might be able to absorb this resource because your talent is better, and your own power has many connections with the star power." Su-Ran paused for a moment. "This is good news. Getting to know the power in advance can make the evolution go more smoothly." "Xilu Tilda, I understand." Star nodded. Xian suddenly remembered something and asked curiously, "Meow, has the lucky fish of Chuangsing City appeared yet?" "The lucky fish?" Su-Ran touched his chin and shook his head helplessly. "Not yet." On the first day of business, Su-Ran had also served 6 or 7 customers, but none of them exhibited traits akin to a lucky fish. Therefore, Su-Ran was not sure whether Chuangsing City had a lucky fish. "No worries, if there's no lucky fish after half a month, I'll go back to Bright Radiant City and borrow a bit of Miss Chu Yue's lucky aura," Su-Ran said with a smile. "Otherwise, I could also go to Kingju City or Xian City to try my luck." "All right, you guys should go train." Su-Ran sat up straight on the bed, assuming a meditative posture, and soon under the combined effect of 2 meditation acceleration cards, entered into a deep meditation. Watching Su-Ran striving to improve, the 5 little ones exchanged a glance, then headed to their respective attribute training areas as if they were on familiar ground. A night without words, only liver-busting. Time flies swiftly, and in the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. As Liu Fengyun had predicted, after the first attempt to cause trouble, Pingshan Foster Shop had not sent anyone over anymore. Starfair Foster Care Shop entered a peaceful development phase, and within a mere 4 days, obtained a fantastic reputation with excellent service, already becoming somewhat famous in the nearby neighborhoods. Every day, a steady stream of 10 to 20 customers visited, and the business of Starfair Foster Care Shop was now firmly on the right track. Moreover, the fame of Starfair Foster Care Shop was continuously rising. Although it was currently only around 3%, it had already made a fine start. That day, just as Starfair Foster Care Shop began its business, it welcomed a special guest. He was in uniform, representing the organizers of the Beast Master Association Pet Beast Foster Care Experience Exhibition. "May I ask if this is the owner of Starfair Foster, Mr. Su-Ran?" The staff member entered the shop and got straight to the point. "That's right, it's me." Su-Ran's eyes lit up, guessing the purpose of the visit, and quickly stepped forward. "Has the Foster Care Experience Exhibition started?" 4,000 words to go, liver busting in progress.